Previously on Darkstar.
Alright, yeah, this is the session 0 of the new Darkstar campaign, Darkstar War. I've changed the colon between Darkstar and, I guess it would be its appendix, into a vertical bar because the colon was being mistaken for a colon, oddly enough.
That's not really mistaken then, is it?
Well, it is because it wasn't intended to represent a colon.
What was it supposed to be?
The colon identifies as a pipe, okay?
That's fair.
It basically was just intended to separate the two words. Like, this is the Darkstar campaign.
Like a colon does.
Yeah, but there's a space between Darkstar and the colon, so it has different significance. Space colon. Is this a sci-fi game?
That sounds like a disease.
So wait, is it supposed to be Dark Star Wars?
No.
Is that how we're supposed to be pronouncing it?
No, it is still Darkstar. Darkstar War.
Okay. If you say so. I'm gonna start pronouncing it Dark Star War, though.
Do not get me sued.
I promise nothing.
You're looking like your $50 will be mine.
Wow.
Record of Darkstar War.
Oh, God.
Alright, so, we've got a quick outline to go through. Did you all have a chance to read the actual discussion in the agenda thing?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Glance through it.
Glance through it, okay. Lula?
Yeah, I looked at it.
Okay. So, communication tools, Tulare, we've already had a conversation about this, and Nemesis, Meowkin, and Nox, and Lulu suffered through one campaign with me for 75, actually I can only say 74 plus sessions. So I think they're comfortable, at least, with me already, but I will go ahead and put an X card into the handouts right at the top so that anybody can put it on a board at any point they're uncomfortable with the situation. I would like discussion about what made that person uncomfortable, but it is anonymous for a reason, and that reason is basically so that it can be anonymous if that's the only way the X card would come out. Absolutely not going to demand that anybody share whatever concerns they have about the content if that would make them even more uncomfortable and potentially prevent them from raising concern. I just encourage it because communication in that kind of thing is of paramount importance to be able to know what I stepped on or stepped in or over or whatever I did that as far as behavior that needs to be addressed or curtailed.
Not overly familiar with Roll20. Can you point me to where that's located and maybe even demonstrate how? Like, I don't even know how to pull something out of that menu.
Let me let's see. I've got you on the gridless grid, right? So let me get myself over there.
Playing card design.
So, what
Yes,
it would
I
look like is I'm just going to use a character, actually, for an example. So, I've got the drones character over here in the characters vacant folder.
Oh, it's just focus.
Yeah.
Characters vacant. I see vehicles, ship crew, and the Raza. Oh no, Raza. Okay, Raza.
Oh, the drones are.
There's a lot. There's a lot of stuff here. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I'll use the Raza because that's visible to everyone. So what I will do is I will create basically a character and put it at the very top of this as if scroll like this. Oh, that's why I can't scroll. Alright, I'm doing it right now. So, the Raza has been moved to the very tip top of this whole handouts folder, right? Scroll back up, you see that?
I see it there.
Okay, so you just click on the Raja's name, drag it over to the board, and drop it down. What will appear once I've created this properly is a big X. Roll20 does not identify who placed this on the board. It just places it on the board and anybody who has control over that can do the same thing. So, just for practice, go ahead and drag a Raza onto the board somewhere.
I am trying to, and it's not letting me. It opens up the Raza's bio and info.
Just don't click on it. Just drag and pull.
From the actual words of the Raza.
That's what I am trying to do.
Hmm.
Onto the board. I've got a pointer, but there's nothing underneath that pointer. And then when I release on the board,
Because it's this is one of the ones that I have not fixed the controls of. Give me a second. Okay, it is now controllable by all players. So try now.
there we go. That did it.
Yeah. So
I'm glad I asked.
yeah, me too. That's a good lesson. I need to remember to make sure everybody actually has control of the X card. So that's what that'll be the X card. It is going to be much bigger than these tokens. It's going to be big enough that anybody that's looking at the screen will see it. And when the X card comes out, I'd like everyone to just kind of chill with what they're doing and let me ask if the person that placed the X card is willing to discuss. I'll wait a few seconds for either a verbal or a text communication. So whoever drops it, if you are willing to talk about it, be queued up with just a quick hi, this is what it is. And if it merits further discussion, then I'll go into a secret channel. But if I don't get that confirmation within probably 5-6 seconds, within a round, then I'll simply try to pivot. I can't promise that I can avoid whatever triggered the X card due to narrative reasons that I may be unwilling to change, and if that's the case, I absolutely admit it will be my fault, or simply because I don't know, what the trigger of the X card was. I'll make my best assessment, but I'm not perfect. Did you have a comment there, Lula?
Sorry, is this written out somewhere on this X card bit?
No, I don't believe it is.
When you create the X card, make its bio and info show the instructions for use of the X card.
That is a great idea. I'll also ask.
Where would that be?
I'm sorry, Knox.
I said, where would that be?
It's going to be placed. It's actually going to be placed exactly where the Raza is right now.
Okay.
There's like a little token you can drag out.
Yeah, it's going to be at the very top. Knox, you may have some difficulty with that, and so if something is causing you discomfort to where you would want to drop it, I'm afraid that you may have to tell me or tell someone to, or ask someone to, put the X card out.
Actually, I'm worried about the opposite scenario. It's in a place that's really easy for me to drag from. I'm able to, pull out a Raza just fine. But I also might do it by accident, so...
Okay.
I would be a little bit more... comfortable isn't the right word, but it would be easier if I did not have access to it. If I have problems, I will bring them up to you directly or after the session.
Okay. That sounds fine. I'll make it accessible to everyone except for you.
Thank you.
I am willing to entertain. I shouldn't say it like that. To consider. I am willing to consider other tools. I have personal reservations about them, but if there are other tools that anybody else really wants to, really likes and wants the table to use, I'm open. I'll listen.
No strong preferences.
Okay.
I'm assuming that invitation is primarily directed at me as the newcomer, so I have to speak up.
Unless we've all been quiet.
I asked briefly at the beginning of this campaign, and the only player who's here from that conversation is Lulu. So technically, Meowkin and Nox have never had this conversation either. But
That's true.
yeah, I guess it was mostly directed at you, Tulair. Sorry. All right. The Darkstar character companion has hit a delay called Community. I will fess up. I've been more interested in watching Community a third time.
Good show.
My motivation just has not gotten me to get the companion as up to date as I want, so it's not ready. When it is prepared, it's absolutely not required reading. I have taken the foci from it, and oh shoot, I dropped into planning. That's the wrong place for it. Anyways, they're there in planning, and old players, you'll see some changes to foci that you've had, and Tulair and Josh, when you're listening, if you're listening later on, you'll see some new options for foci. My intent is to give every skill, I think I wrote at least 2 foci that actually give you that skill as a bonus skill, just because I don't like having a concept that's reliant on a skill and being like, well, if I want to boost that skill with the foci, all I've got is specialist, and then I have to start thinking about other things that my character would be doing, and I just don't like that. So I created new foci.
Fair enough.
Hit point abstraction. I very much abstract hit points. I also abstract the combat stats out of combat. So if your move speed is 10 or 15 or 20, that's a combat move speed. There should also be some kind of, if this whatever's giving you that move speed, if it also increases your normal, non-combat speed, that should also be listed. Kind of like drones can fly 20 meters and around, but can go 100 kilometers per hour outside of combat. I will still use hit points for general danger things. Sometimes things that actually, would inflict a physical injury, and sometimes not. Hit points and system strain are a character safety / health / overall resource that I will abuse as a GM.
I'll note here that my experience with the system is relatively limited. I don't understand system strain very well, so if it comes up, I might need somebody to explain it to me.
That's perfectly fine. It's not terribly complicated, and it usually doesn't come up that often. So
it comes up mostly if I'm trying to create a little bit of tension that continuing to do what you're doing over a long term will have detrimental effects on health.
Honestly, mostly it just comes up with pharmaceuticals.
Well, yeah, or it could also be biosigns. I think somebody might have been talking about biosign. It primarily affects you, like if you have taken system strain, then that's one less time that you can be healed until that system strain is gone.
Okay.
In a sense, it's similar to healing surges, except you don't get them all back in a day.
That's a simple enough analogy. Thank you.
And for
all the other ones, get them back a day at a time. If you get more than your Constitution score, I think you die.
yeah, and I was going to give you a little bit of context with the numbers there. Your system strain max is your Constitution score. I don't think you actually die if you go over your Constitution. It just prevents you from being able to receive benefits.
I can't remember.
I can't
It might
remember.
have been just the QED thing that killed you if you went over.
Yeah, the
I think that might
QED
actually be
thing
the case.
explicitly it is written by the jerk that wrote those rules to kill
Yeah.
you.
Yep.
And perform a double check.
ahead.
If it's important. If not important, then I don't care.
And I
It's not
understand
right
that
now.
we all are going to start undergoing this QED surgery at the beginning of the game. Does that mean that my character could die on the operating table during character
No.
generation?
No.
It's only when retrieving the memories, essentially.
Right.
You're diving in.
When you're getting the memories removed, you do not take system strain.
Fair enough.
Setting and tone. I realized that I left out a kind of an axis here. So gritty and grim more often than not, but there's places within the setting that have a spot of light at least on the surface. Also, as a GM, I tend to be more serious, and this is the axis I forgot. More serious than Rule of Cool. Rule of Cool can come up and can be included, but I generally don't as much.
You need to be better at fast talking the GM than I am to really pull it off. So if you can build that skill, I encourage you to do so.
There are no foci for that skill. Just letting you know.
Yeah. You have to develop that in real life.
System strain doesn't do anything if you exceed your Constitution score.
Yeah.
The effect just stops working.
Yeah, I thought so.
Makes sense.
This campaign is going to have more targeted. Oh, I'm still on the opening screen. Hello. Well, we don't actually need to be on any other screen. Okay, so never mind. Yeah. Distracted myself. That'll happen occasionally. I will distract and talk to myself. Speaking of focus, this campaign will have more targeted gameplay than a traditional sandbox, but I still want to absolutely give you the sandbox elements that make role-playing fun. It's been my long experience that I've been running sandboxes my entire life before sandboxes ever even got filled with sand, and I'm on the inside of this box looking at people build walls around it and thinking, what are you doing? Why are you building a sandbox? The whole world is sand.
I don't know what you're saying anymore.
That's okay. I think my analogy got away from me.
The whole world is sand. Well, you did say that the game was going to be gritty.
Got you there.
You fit perfectly. Yeah, I've always run games where if the players did not want to do what the mission wanted them to do, what the quest said they should do next, then okay, whatever was happening in that area of the world that they were going to go do something about, somebody else does something about it, or it evolves, it does something else while the characters go off and do whatever they want. I've always played run games like they are sandboxes. So even though you're going to be picking missions that your characters are going to be sent on, you as players are going to pick missions that your characters are sent on. I still want you to feel like you have agenda, agency, and control and choice as players of what your characters do. Just knowing that your characters are technically soldiers in an organization, or special agents in an organization. So going off the rails may have in-character consequences. I don't think there's much more to say about sandboxing. I do encourage splitting the party. I like split parties. I feel like it's not realistic for a group of people to always be together in every situation they encounter.
Especially when doing spec ops.
Especially when doing spec ops. Oh my goodness, yes. You've got somebody in the heart of the building planting a line shot, somebody else in the guts of the building planting a line shot, and the hacker trying to jack in from the power grid outside. And yeah, no, I love splitting the party. I realize that it creates situations where not everybody's really as able to be engaged, and I will absolutely try to pace and moderate that. But don't shy away from splitting the party. Stay together when it's in-universe appropriate. If you expect to be attacked, staying together is absolutely probably the right thing to do. Off-camera roleplay. If it's during a session, use Roll20. We can copy cool stuff over to the roleplay Discord channel, and if you feel like roleplaying between sessions, go ahead and use the Roll20 Discord channel. Please let me be the GM and answer the GM / rules questions.
I refuse.
I know you do. I have explicitly not interrupted you so that I could use you as an example. I'm not going to jump down anybody's throat for answering, especially if they're correct, but sometimes the correct information from purely book or mechanics isn't the information that I want to impart, and can lead to a little bit of confusion. So I probably won't interrupt somebody who's answering a question, but if I do, then kind of step back and give me a little bit of space. That also leads into, I have significant hearing loss in 1 year. I believe it's an 80% loss last time I tested it. For reasons that I don't understand, this makes it very difficult for me to pick out a single voice out of multiple. And it also makes it difficult for me to understand words when there's background noise. As an example, I can hardly ever figure out, actually understand the lyrics of a song. Unless it's just a singer, and then I typically find that boring. So, just another thing to be kind of cautious about, if multiple people are talking, it's unlikely that I'll catch any of it, although I may try to cue in on one of them and try to separate out the others, but it's still difficult for me. And if I ask you to repeat, just, that's my excuse. I have been going deaf since I was single digits. So the QED is a little bit on the tricky side conceptually. It's not erasing knowledge or skills. It's erasing the experience of knowledge and skills of self and person, of relationships, and everything that a person has lived.
I will have a point of order there, Dax. It's not even erasing them, really. It's just taking them and dumping them somewhere into outer space.
That is true, but that's a clarification for later.
Okay.
For the purposes of conceptualizing the character, those memories are effectively gone. I mean, you guys are still creating new characters. I still want them to have a history, and I still want to know that history. As with, I want about as much detail as I would ask from players in a campaign where the characters have not lost their memory. Just, maybe a couple sentences at first, because early characters were fragile, and it sucks writing 3 pages about a character who dies because they have 2 hit points. But we can get deeper into the character's history later on, and despite the mission-based nature, I'll try and bring that history in, and I'll try better than I did in the last campaign. That poor bounty hunter who is still, to this day, trying to track down and capture Nemesis.
There's a bounty hunter trying to capture Nemesis.
Yep, from the beginning of the campaign.
She goes on the land from the wall at the very beginning.
I'll note here, too, that with the questions that you posed for the characters to answer, part of my character's motivation for doing what he's doing is rooted in his backstory. So, I mean, I know you mentioned that we're going to be mission-based and that there'll be not quite as much sandboxing as we may be used to. But I know that the concept that I had in mind, at least, my character wants to right these wrongs in no small part because of his history.
Okay. Yeah, and that's fantastic because, as we'll get to in a bit, actually, I'm not sure where did I put that? Oh, in the knowing your PC part. Yeah, we'll get to in a bit. All your characters are going to record a hello self video, and it can be, you can kind of draw from your character telling himself why he chose to do this, and it'll be interesting to me, at least, to see how that plays out for a character who had such motivations to get into this, and then has memory of those removed. Yeah, but that's getting ahead of me, getting ahead of myself. Character ideas. Does anybody need any help coming up with a concept, or got a concept and you want to flesh it out with other players? Now's the time.
I mean, I've got a couple in mind, but since I'm not even joining until later, I was kind of leaning towards just figuring out what everyone else in the group was doing and then then choosing which one I go with around that.
Okay. There is a hidden reroll mechanic that I use used in the old universe games, where if you're building a character specific to a role, like everybody's kind of got the characters down, and we realize that, oh shoot, we could really use a hacker, and one of the players goes, well, I'll go ahead and set aside my character concept and I'll play the hacker. You need an intelligence for a hacker. That hidden reroll mechanic is you can also reroll any set, no matter how good or bad it is, if it does not get you a 12 or higher in whatever stat you need for that primary roll. Roll with an E. So, just a little bit of an extra boon for people who like to roll, and are also trying to fill a role. Anybody else looking to flesh out concepts or see what others do?
Well, personally, I'm looking at probably like an older mercenary type.
Okay.
That probably has regrets as well.
Okay.
I don't know if anyone had pretty easy to place from Kamiego too, which it seems hard. It seems like the first batch having a good number with Kamiego makes sense for the Raza.
Yeah, that would be an absolutely fantastic way to tie characters to each other, at least somewhat.
And there's plenty of places on Kamiego to have regrets.
Yeah, lots of them. Okay. Nox?
I'll say, as far as mechanically, I plan on playing full warrior with a focus on, tinkering and fix.
Mhm.
I forget what the name of the planet was, but it's the one where we had dropped down to where it was just like war all the time.
That would be
Canagiris. Yep.
Canagiris. From Canagiris.
Okay.
Backstory from Canagiris and fucking escaping the horrors of war through memory erasure.
And perhaps someone that knows and is known by Notario.
Maybe?
Yeah. Or who was that one? Umikawa is also from Kanagiris, is that right?
No, Omiko is from Holau.
Oh, right.
Well, Tohaiwa Oa.
I knew that.
All right. And one of the possible nice things about this more squad-based setup, where it's not your ship, is that I feel like it hopefully takes pressure off of we need a pilot, we need an engineer, we need a comms person, because there's going to be NPCs that can fill those roles. Doesn't sound like anybody else needs any further concepting, so you guys
I'm sorry. I actually wanted if you said, I blanked out. So I did hear what Nox and Meowkin were planning. What are you planning? Was it Tulare?
Yes, I have a expert warrior specializing in fisticuffs, and my expertise is around connect and trade.
Interesting.
Background is that my character was a trusted serf in charge of some of the commercial affairs of his master's estate, and did good work there, but when the old master died and the son took over, he decided it was no longer a healthy working environment and skipped town. But he's got regrets because there are now good people that he left behind there, but he was helpless to do anything from that position, and so he hopes that in addition to whatever other good work this organization has in mind for him, that there will be opportunities to right other big wrongs.
Okay.
That he's going to gain access to resources that he could do something where before he was helpless.
All right.
Cool.
That's interesting.
Let me go back to Meowkin real quick. You said older veteran. Were you thinking like shooty type? Did you have any kind of build?
I'm probably looking like a shooting warrior.
Yeah.
So we got the melee weapon warrior, we got the fisticuffs warrior. Well, half warrior, but still.
I might actually build mine as more of a stealth expert. Then I've got some ideas in that line, but sort of combining Nemesis's and Charlie's role from the last game to build someone who's more good at the subterfuge sort of deal.
So, sneak, hacker.
Yeah. Might dip into pilot as well, for the hell of it.
So, if you continue to go with the pirate theme, I demand that when the character sneaks into a place, we get an "Arr, I'm in."
No, hold on. No, I've got the perfect thing for this.
But you have to save it as a surprise, right?
No, it's no.
No, let's hear it. Let's
Here,
hear
I need to post this here now. What channel are we using for discussion here?
it. Discussion.
All of them.
I will have to listen to that later.
Well, you can't go wrong with the Pirates of Penzance.
Yeah.
I have
Oh,
only
wow.
ever seen that at SeaWorld. But I have seen it. So, if seals singing and dancing ish to Pirates of Penzance counts, I am totally cultured.
The trick here is you have to sing it as loudly as possible.
I don't
Otherwise
think
it's not
seals
funny.
have a very much of a consideration for volume, so I would say that they were as loud as possible. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Unless they're Navy SEALs. Very stealthy.
They are very stealthy. We'll get Josh's feet on this later. So, does anybody still need to roll or do their stats?
Sounds like I do.
All right. So, if you're not keeping that, you get a little bit of a cheaty bonus for rolling too
Yay.
soon.
I'm cheating.
Sorry, what's going on now?
I want to be able to shoot things far enough where they can't see my pretty face, so I don't need a pretty face.
Fair enough. We're rolling stats as well as background and growth and learning and whatever else needs to be rolled right now. We're going to create our characters. Nox, are you able to do that where you're at?
I was going to see about keeping the rolls that I made the last time we were having a conversation.
Okay.
You were there, but if that doesn't work, I can totally roll again.
No, I'm fine with that. Because we were talking about it right then and there, and I did say yes, you may go ahead and roll. I just listened to that last night.
That does actually also remind me. I know this is kind of getting in the way of things a little bit, Dex, but did you change specialist back to how it normally is?
I did.
Okay.
I gave up my hard reservations about it and just said, you know what? It's okay as it is. I don't have to control all the dice.
Hmm.
I realized that that my rendition of it was appealing in some ways, but that's fine. I may write.
Your rendition was a good 10th level focus, I think.
Yeah.
At 10th level, it just gives level 4 in a skill by itself.
Yeah.
I think that was actually kind of part of the problem that I ended up having with it.
So all of a sudden, someone becomes like a master of a skill they had no skill in prior.
Yeah, it didn't feel like it really added it didn't add any more benefit than just specialist as written. In terms of cool things, it just gave a bunch of skill points.
I mean, I kind of like the level 2 portion of it, but I never got a chance to actually use it.
Right, and
I'll say there is. Go ahead.
But that was also basically at the end of the game too. So
yeah. No, go ahead, Nux.
There is precedent for it in psychic training too.
Right, there is.
That was it. That was my only argument.
Yeah. I was going to argue against my own, you can do things faster or better or cheaper with, yeah, but I kind of will let you try and negotiate things like that even without a focus.
yeah, makes sense.
It didn't feel like it had it. So, more
Question.
specifically was trying to ask you, Nox, if you need help filling out the character sheet.
No, I have access to it.
Okay, great. Question?
I don't know how you. I don't remember how you have it, so I'm going to ask again so that we have it here. How do you deal with the interaction between any number of the focus that give you an additional die and the specialist focus or specialist 2 focus?
I learned that I was wrong. Foci that give you an additional die just give you an additional die. Crawford's wording of you roll 3d6 is not meant to be taken explicitly as you roll 3d6, even if you've got another focus that lets you roll 3d6. I actually had just come across a post that he wrote. I don't remember if it was recent or older, but he clarified that if you've got healer, which gives you a 3d6, and you've got specialist heal for whatever reason, you're rolling at 46. So, yeah, it's not a good choice.
Yeah, because diminishing returns essentially.
Yeah. But if you
balls
really
out.
want that 5d6 in hacking, go for it.
Okay. But I just wanted to clarify that because I remember we had a conversation before where we ended up just deciding the opposite. So I wanted to know if that was still the ruling here.
Yep, nope. And I remember I said very confidently, no, they don't stack. And I was wrong.
There will come a time that I just take away your free time to talk about, hey, how do I implement blah 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 to the weapon modification system? Because it gives a few examples and then it leaves it for you to discuss it with your GM.
Yep, and we'll.
Okay,
work
if
out the
Scotty
details.
McCrumble is one of the available options for NPC, we definitely want that one.
Good old Scotty.
Scotty is available.
He's a bit of a security hard ass.
Yeah.
And his name is McCrumble.
Hey, wait. Here's my proposal, Dex. For the captain of the ship, Luigi.
No.
That seems
Yes.
No.
Yes. Do it.
Well, we're not on that section right now, so we're just finishing up your characters here.
Hasta for days.
I guess I'll go ahead and roll again with my illegal cheat roll.
Garlic bread as far as the eye can see.
Let's see. Anything better? Oh, yeah, that's better.
Oh yeah. Wow.
I'm looking here, and I'm pretty sure that my character is completely unsuited to life aboard a starship.
That's what your NPCs are for.
Oh, that's right.
I hope so.
You only get +1 starting at 14, huh?
Yep. So that set is good, but only has a single 15 or single +1 to start with.
Yep.
Plus whatever you make your 14.
Let's go 14. You won't.
I mean, probably Constitution. I am going to be a warrior after all. But,
Yeah, but you're a shooty warrior. You shouldn't be getting shot.
yeah, and if I go to 14 strength, I can carry bigger guns. So that's a pretty strong point.
Yeah, I maybe made a mistake in tanking Constitution, but whatever.
I mean, it's not tank. It's a +0 still.
No. I tanked Constitution.
Oh.
Let Nemesis get the one foci we were working on for the
for the heavy weapons.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe.
Let Nemesis carry a Gatling gun around.
So here's the deal. The guy with the sword gets the attention of the other guy with the sword, and then I come up behind him, and I'm going to clock him in the back of the head.
That works.
Clock him in the back of the head with a sword?
With my knuckles. Or with a clock.
Right.
I could do it with a clock. That'd be ironic.
I reckon we're gonna
What
go
if I
14
gave you?
strength and hope I get +1
What if I
dex.
attached the sword to your knuckles?
I'm pretty sure that that's called a punching dagger.
No, like grafted onto the bone.
That's disgusting.
It's just a punching dagger grafted
And
onto the bone.
yet.
Hmm.
Right. So those are, I believe everybody's got their attributes rolled. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I know that Tulare, you're done.
Yeah, my character is done.
Yeah. Lulu's got attributes rolled. Meowkin's got attributes rolled.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. My and
My
Nox.
Wavakri is a placeholder.
Okay.
I just needed a name that sounded less like Aobakri Wib, and more like an actual name.
I appreciate that. And so then Nox has attributes rolled. Do y'all know what background you want to take?
Soldier or thug? Hmm. Soldier gets more physical growth.
I already rolled my background. I just didn't write it down.
Did we do it in chat? Because it should still be up there. Although
It is, and I know that it's one that gives survive as a bonus skill.
I see that. Okay. Yeah, you rolled growth 3 times.
Yep. As
I'm going to step away
you
for
do.
just a moment.
Okay.
Let's see. So
Yeah, I don't care about mini mentals.
Vagabond. That's it. It had to be Vagabond.
I'm gonna go with soldier.
I think it was Vagabond Nux. Alright,
It can't be anything else, actually.
Now, Lulu, what background are you thinking there for?
I'm thinking I'm kind of leaning spacer.
Yeah. Are they still pirate? You're still going with the pirate concept?
I think no. I think I'm leaning away from that a bit.
Okay.
For this one, if I had gone for the more fighty type, I would have still been a pirate. But this one might be like, yeah, it might have some nautical flavoring, I guess, or
Okay.
just space nautical, spotical.
Just nautical.
Can you have some actual nautical flavoring? You lived for 13 years on a ballast.
Yeah, it's true. I did. It's absolutely what I did.
I'm gonna take that I rolled any skill.
That's what I'm planning on using the growth table for in my Friday game once it starts back up. Is I'm gonna try and get my physicals as high as possible because we start with an array. And I'm just gonna take the any skill as kind of compensation.
I might as well just go ahead and bring shoot up to 1, right?
I did not.
Sure.
Yeah. I see no reason not to start with.
Burn my psychic.
Yeah, +2 physical.
Is Starfarer the only pilot skill? Or
Yes.
pilot foci?
It is.
It might be.
Yeah.
Huh. Oh well.
And 1 more growth. All growth all the time. No. That's not
For
what I
shame.
wanted.
That one.
Oh well. That's +1 to any stat.
Hmm.
I have 50-50 chance of getting +2 physical with soldier, but not meant to be. I only got a single one of those. I think it's good to bring dexterity up to 16 though. That actually puts me in range of buying up to 18.
Mhm.
think Tinker is a level 2 focus. I can't do anything with it from charge in.
Okay, so that's all my growth rolls.
Because we're starting from the point that we wake up, right?
No, you'll be starting a couple months afterwards.
Okay.
Well, maybe not a couple months. A month, and then some afterwards.
Can I tinker before we start? Or do I have to tinker after we start?
I like to tinker a little bit before we start.
Cool.
You won't have much. Well, you'll have your starting credits to work with.
Yep. I will enjoy that 700 credit nothing else package. Because I definitely wanted to play around with making my own stuff.
Yeah. Remember that. Cool.
That's all going to be jury rigged. So you can have as much as possible.
It'll all break in a week.
If you truly want to build jury rigged stuff, check out the rewritten creative focus.
I might
Oh.
give that a peek.
Okay, I decided. Choose roll.
However, I
Choose
need
your
to
class.
first scroll down and reread the rules for creating gear.
Choose my foci.
As a quick rundown, it takes a week to build normal equipment, a month to build vehicles, jury rigging. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. Building equipment normally costs twice its normal book cost. Jury rigging halves both the normal list price and the time required. You can further have the time required with an assistant.
You're telling me I can start the game having made a warthog?
Only if you have the credits for it.
What if I jury rig it?
Well, it's if by warthog you mean the A10 warthog, I believe that is multiple thousands of credits, and even jury rigging will only bring that down to less multiple thousands.
What if it's a puma?
Then we're getting
It's not a puma.
What the fuck's a puma? Puma's not a real animal. Oh, that's how the gag went.
Yeah, yeah.
I was actually thinking of like the Halo warthog, and I don't know what the equivalent would be in this game.
That was indeed the joke there.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
That's like the very start of Red versus Blue. They're arguing about what the heck what it is.
It
Yeah.
is literally right after the "You ever wonder why we're here" thing.
I've never seen Red versus Blue.
It's fine.
Fantastic for its time,
Yeah.
but it's also like
I will
20
say the
years
cost
old.
of making a melee weapon is actually nothing.
For primitives, yeah.
Well, even for a higher tech level, it's like 80 credits for an advanced one.
Yeah, yeah. Which makes making a concealed advanced melee weapon still cheap.
Program.
Bounty hunter? Maybe.
I apologize for only getting the revised foci to you like 2 minutes before we started today.
That's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah. It's okay. Fine.
Yeah. Okay.
I'd like to give my primitive knife infinite power so that it never runs out of juice.
So maybe I should just go sniper. Actually, I think that's something I would just take a level 2, so I can go to like cheat up to level 2 shoot. Right, that's how you do that. You pick your level 2 focus to increase the skill to level 2.
Uh, I
Or
I
I'm forgetting how that works. I'm probably forgetting how that works.
wait. I'm sorry. I got distracted with Roll20. What was the question?
Oh, I was talking about like if I'm trying to remember if you pick up the skill with your level or the focus as your level 2, you could cheat the skill up to level 2, right?
Oh, yes, you can.
Like
Yeah.
one level early.
Mhm.
I've got a question,
Mhm.
and this isn't like an important question. Uh, what is the cost of a master-crafted small primitive weapon?
Well,
Wait,
times 10 of nothing. I
So it
think
costs 0. Got it.
I think
but
master.
it's a really well made stone knife.
I mean, it could just be a metal knife.
Primitive? Eh.
A monoblade is an advanced one.
Yeah. For it to be considered primitive, it basically has to be unable to penetrate power armor, and your Chef Ginsu knives are unable to penetrate power armor.
You're just not trying hard enough.
Um,
I mean, even a modern, real world combat knife is not penetrating combat armor. So
yeah.
Literally free.
Or I'm not real sure, Nox. Tell me what you want to do with it, and I'll give you a price.
I was just asking for the sake of
The
being
joke.
difficult.
Okay.
I would not use a small primitive weapon.
I think, as far as rules loopholes are concerned, Crawford covered himself by disallowing mods on weapons of TL3 or lower, or equipment of TL3 or lower.
Okay.
So I know that a lot of GMs ignore that, but as rules is written, a masterwork primitive knife is just a small primitive weapon with a +1 to attack. I think that's all primitive masterwork gives you. I'm not even sure about that.
I will triple check. I don't think so though.
Yeah, no, actually, masterwork doesn't actually do anything stats
Until you add
wise.
a mod.
Right.
Yeah, it's worthless until you add mods.
Right, and because it's TL0, you can't add mods per the book. So, yeah, no, huh? Cost 5 credits.
It doesn't do anything, and yet you're making it cost more. All right.
It's very fancy.
Look, it's only listed as 0 credits in the book in the chart because it's actually 0.4 credits. You round that down, but when you multiply that by 10, you get 5.
Don't you get 4?
Nope.
0.4 times 10.
That's 5. You move the decimal over, and then you add 1.
Why do you add 1?
Well, because you're multiplying it by 10. You gotta put the 1 somewhere.
I need to lie down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright. I think I'm gonna go with the bounty hunter.
Yeah. Sorry, yesing aside. How are we all doing? Where are we at?
It's fine. I'm just trying to decide whether I want to go into piloting first or hacking first.
Okay.
It's just having a pilot. Because I'm not imagining we're getting star-crossed on this job. I imagine the main group is keeping him for themselves.
That's correct.
So going into Starfarer and actually having all those bonuses seems like a useful thing.
Okay. Yeah, there are a couple of NPCs who would not be able to join you. Riley and Starcross are two of them.
Mm-hmm.
But we can get Harry.
Harry's also one that cannot
Oh,
join you.
lame.
Um,
Lame.
The idols are unavailable. They are their own thing. They're doing their own thing. They're basically another PC group doing PC group things.
How dare they?
Right? They're
If
your
we give them
competition.
permission. Oh no, we're gonna have to kill them so we look better.
Might
I'm
want to
going
gain
to-
some levels.
I'm going to make a swap here, Dex.
I mean,
Okay.
I had chosen Wanderer, but I think that Shrewd Merchant better suits my character type.
Oh yeah, actually, it sounds like it does.
It's not going to change my skills at all because I had spent my free point on trade and got a level in survive from Wanderer. I'm just going to keep survive and trade as the two skills that I have there, but I'm going to have the bonuses from Shrewd Trader instead of from Wanderer.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
makes sense.
oh yeah, I forgot that you get an extra combat focus too. Well then,
Yeah. Expert warriors are
alright, they get 2 extra focuses. They get 3. They start with 3 focuses.
Now, I'm not going to do this now, but I would like to hear you guys' thoughts. I had considered making foci that you take during character creation just set that skill at 1. None of this it takes 0 or brings it to 1 if it's already 0. Just sets it at 1, which is the equivalent of gaining 3 post character generation skill points in that skill.
So what happens to the skill we already had there?
It would you just move it somewhere else.
Okay. No, I actually fully agree with that then. I think that's a good idea because it always kind of struck me as a little
That it's suboptimal to pick some focuses
Right.
level 1
Yeah,
versus level 2.
right.
That's the part that really bothers me. Like this decision matrix of, well, I'm gonna take Ironhide and Diehard now because they don't have skill bonuses, so that I can get the most out of my bonus skill at level 2.
Right,
It's gonna be
exactly.
worse now so that I can get a bigger jump in power next level.
Yeah.
Right.
Um.
Because like this early, next level doesn't come that far along. Might as well wait, right?
Tulare,
It
do you
also
have?
means that if we go ahead.
Yeah. You guys sound like you're all completely in agreement with this. Tulare, let me get some thoughts from you.
I have no thoughts on this matter. This question of optimization has never come up for me, so
Ah.
So, in regards to from an X focus, I already actually have shoot 1.
Mhm.
If I pick a bonus, if one that gives me shoot as a bonus skill, is that essentially gonna be 2 points to spend?
Yeah, it would be 2 normal character generation points. They should be in related skills. Like, if you got those 2 shoot points from any combat rolls, then they should still be any combat.
Okay. So like probably like stab, maybe like some stab in case someone gets close. Doesn't hurt to have.
Sure.
And
Do you guys all want to do that?
What's going on?
Like, yeah.
I'm just asking if you. I said I wasn't gonna do it, but you've responded more positively than I anticipated. I thought it was just a me thing.
No,
I
That's always
I
been a
agree
weird
with
thing.
it
With
100%.
that's always been a weird thing with character creation.
Okay. So Tulare, what that means is that you get punch, connect,
punch,
and trade.
connect, and trade at 1 automatically.
Mm-hmm. Looks like. Did you already change connect?
No, I had
Oh,
spent one
wow.
of my. So
Yeah.
I'm going to get an extra point for punch and an extra point for connect.
2 of them. So it's replacing what you got. Whatever. however you got connect 1 and punch 1. Oh, part of that was from your foci. Yes, you're right. You get one point that you get to put somewhere else in your skills from each of those.
Hey, Dex.
Mm-hmm.
Not exactly combat skills, but if I get this from sniper, would it be okay if I put 1 point into sneak and 1 point into exert?
Yes, because I don't count sniper as a combat skill or as a combat focus.
Okay, even though because really it's only out of combat stuff.
Mm-hmm.
One of these days I'm gonna do an execute attack, and this time it'll be a little easier.
In my
this
other game, I think I've ruined multiple combats, but just like, oh yeah, this is gonna be like a boss fight, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna continue drawing a beat on him until you tell me to stop. And if too long goes by, I'm like, hey, has enough time gone past that I can make an execute attack? And I do, and he fucking dies. It was like, I was gonna give that guy like 100 health and make him a multi-stage boss fight, and now he's dead.
Hooray! I guess. Actually, double checking this. Is Starfarer really worth that much more than fucking just getting specialist and pilot? I guess second level is kind of useful because that half-time thing, but before then,
But
level
specialist
one
is
stuff-
nice. Yeah, specialist is nice too because that'll affect vehicles and everything.
Yeah,
It's a
and
little
also
more
it
broadly
affects
applicable.
like during combat stuff, or during space combat stuff. I think specialist pilot is actually better than Starfarer. Unless you're really well, level 2 Starfarer is kind of okay, but level 1 Starfarer is worse than specialist, I think. So I think I might just grab specialist for pilot.
Strictly mathematically, Starfarer 2 is better than Specialist because even Specialist 2 can't give you the kind of +3 or +4 that Starfarer 2 effectively
Oh
does.
no, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Well, I agree-ish. Again, if you're in outside of spike drills, specialist is still better because Starfarer only affects spike drills.
Yeah.
But it's also really good at spike drill. I mean, particularly given the setting where we know there may be time constraints or something like that. That can save a lot of time.
Absolutely, it is good at those.
But that's also prime time for if Charlie wants to or Nox wants to tinker.
True.
Having longer spike drills will be better for that.
It's also a case of just like two levels of foci is way more investment than one level of foci.
Yeah.
Specialist also has a very strange place of it's great for someone who only wants to take one level of pilot. Just take level 1 and now you don't have to your lack of actual pilot skill doesn't affect like 80% of the drills you make. And those other 20% you can just take a longer way around.
You mean Starfarer?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did I say Starfarer?
No, you said specialist.
Okay. Yeah, I meant specialist is great as just a level 1 focus. It's gonna put you at pilot 1, so you'll have pilot 1, and then you don't have to worry about the fact that you only have pilot 1 because
you said specialist again.
Damn it! I'm just gonna quit.
Dexter said specialist, but in fact, he meant Starfarer.
I need that kind of narration in my life.
Yeah, it's
Dexter would
it's one of those things.
Grow tired of this kind of narration in his life.
But what I was going to say, Starfarer just kind of strikes me as because it's like it's one of those things that's purely like almost purely a downtime thing, even more so than like the modding stuff for fix.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just very, very bland.
Yep, it is. It's yeah.
Like I can understand the desire to do it or to to use it, but it's just not something that is
If you
particularly appealing.
if you plan on taking pilot beyond skill 1, then specialist is probably going to be better for you because you guys are going to be on the ground in situations on the ground more often than you're in situations in space.
Yeah, I think I probably am, honestly.
Okay. You be the driver.
Yeah, because if I'm going pure expert anyway, I have more skill points to burn on other stuff. You know.
Yep. Definitely true.
Plus, if I'm actually piloting a vehicle, I can use my pilot skill to fire the bullets out of the vehicle.
Only if it's front mounted.
Front mounted.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean that's also fairly easy to engineer.
Yeah. So I think I've talked myself into specialist for pilot.
Okay. Who still needs more time on their character?
Like 7 hit points. What a healthy boy.
It might be prudent, Dexter, to document somewhere this revision to the focus rules so that Josh has access to it later.
Yeah.
Put it under character creation here, I think.
I've actually written it out in Discord twice and then deleted it because I decided I wasn't going to approach that just yet.
Now you'll have to write it a third time.
Hooray.
Yay! My life.
Oh yeah, equipment package. I'll just start with soldier equipment package because I ain't gonna do no shopping until later.
This was asked earlier, and I want to. It was kind of a small aside. I just want to bring it out to the forefront. Your characters are going to have about a month or so after losing their memories to become acquainted with things. So before we begin session 1, depending on how old your character is, they will have been running around in dry sun, perhaps other places, for a month to 2 months.
After having their memories wiped.
After
Having our memories wiped, yes.
Good to know. Knife. Where are you, knife? Oh, right. I guess it's just a primitive weapon.
Yep.
That's not a knife. This is a knife.
Thanks, I hate it.
What can I say except you're welcome?
You can say so many other things.
I think what you're trying to say is, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Alright.
Lord.
I've added a note in the foci section of the character creation handout. And in the interest of time, we do not have to complete all the characters here today. That's why I'm doing things. If you still want to make decisions or think over, ponder, then I'm happy to move on. That goes for everyone. That's not finished.
Honestly, I think I've got my stats arrayed, as it were. So.
Shoot. Nice.
I have absolutely no combat ability as of yet, but that can come next level, I'm sure. Probably.
Eventually.
Well, I was planning to get put my points into punch anyway, and just grab my like unarmed combatant next level, and then get that if once we get enough money getting that one mod that actually gives that works really well for programmers that also has like an electro fist built in.
Mm-hmm.
If you know that one. Is
Eel skin, I think.
What was that?
Eel skin, I think.
Yeah, I think that was it. Because that one struck me as really interesting and really good for the more stealth inclined hacky types.
Okay. Sounds
You're
good.
also getting unarmed combatant.
Yeah, but I'm not going to go in it nearly as far as you are.
Oh, we're gonna start a fight club. It's gonna be like Lulu has challenged you to fisticuffs.
Yep, that's exactly right.
I might need help with a shopping trip at some point here. I've got 700 credits to spend and apparently a month in which to spend them. I just have no idea. Probably going to try to spend them on things that would be relevant to our first mission.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and move on with our agenda. Let's see, it's 1:30. What time did we start? We started at 12. What time did I say I was gonna give us a break?
Who can know these things?
I
Hmm.
don't know.
Are we expected to remember things?
I am. I mean, you are.
You probably said something like a midway break, and this seems like a reasonable stopping point.
Yeah, I could honestly use a moment to refill on caffeine. So
Okay, that sounds good. So we're going
Cup of
to
coffee.
Yeah.
take a quick 10-minute break. After that, we're going to stop character creation and go on with knowing your PC. That's probably going to take the longest of this whole session. So, 10 minutes, and we're back.
Sounds good.
Then we'll be live. Wait, no.
All right. All right.
Also, if there's a Ruby D was taken, E still in the still watching the stream. Thank you for following.
Tracks.
Yes.
Shoot. Sorry. I forget which focus it was that did the melee weaponed combatant.
That should be
Do you remember
Armsman.
what we were talking about last time? Armsman? Armsman as opposed to Savage Prey or Stalking Assault? Or...
Well, if a melee combatant wants to really go melee combat, then
all of them.
yeah, you want all of them.
I've done something like that on one of my characters. It was actually pretty fun because it's like I did like 7 shock damage to everything around me.
Yep. Yeah.
Of course, problem is there's not really too many situations where you get surrounded by more than 2 enemies, but still.
More often than not, it basically just gives you an opportunity to do 7 damage to one more person.
Yeah, which is actually pretty good.
Yeah, because there's otherwise no real way to reliably do area damage.
Except for explosives.
I wouldn't
And
consider
heavy
grenades
weapons.
reliable, and demo charges feel more narrative than combat.
There's also heavy
Grenade
weapons,
with
suppressive fire.
telekinesis.
That's true.
With telekinesis, always goes where you want it.
I actually did get one chance to hit 2 extra enemies with it though. That was fun. The little bug monsters.
Nice.
I was like, oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna pick a fight in here once we kind of got the download what's going on. That was in the starts that number Discord. Those games years ago.
Yeah, the UDB stuff.
Yep. I like that character. He was essentially a berserker.
I remember him. I think I played a game alongside him as Ashley.
Probably.
I just remember basing her on Bobby from The Expanse, and giving her telekinetic armory.
I think I remember that. It was the character was Hans.
Yep.
He was like really nice, except that he had some anger issues, and just like blacked out in a fight. I think I think one of them. I think I like ended up tanking a shotgun. It's like, ow.
Let's see.
I'm pretty sure also that character, I think I had another game where I used the warrior feature to gain a shot, like a ship weapon shot. So it's like, basically like at best you'd normally get a luck save against.
Uh-huh.
So it's like, I don't really know if that was written, but it was the only way that character survived.
Was that the one where we ended up running from aliens that were firing weapons? I vaguely remember us like running across a beach, and somebody went unconscious, and the GM said that yes, I could pick them up with telekinesis since they're unconscious.
Yes, I think that was Hans.
Oh, that's right. It was Hans I picked up.
Yep.
Nice.
That was that one was like an AI trapped on the planet.
Yeah. And so some aliens that wanted to escape too, I think, or was that a different one?
I think that was kind of different. I think there was
Okay.
another one that had I guess the other one also got that AIs on it. No, I'll think about it.
I think Vengeful just liked using AI.
Yeah.
I think I might actually still take Die Hard level 1.
Okay. Yeah, I really like this mod. I wish my GMs would use it because it takes that it makes taking Die Hard at level 1 an actual decision instead of the optimal choice.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it automatically stabilizes it mortally wounded. Yeah, that just makes it feel really safe to just go in there and get knocked out.
I never play roleplay games as though optimal choices matter.
Yeah, it's in my brain.
I would much prefer that optimal choices should not be that big a deal.
I
And
would too.
I think 5e. I mean, there is a certain degree. So I mean, I like. I theory craft a bit, but yeah, I do tend towards making some suboptimal choices.
So
Like
I
really
like-
Gunslinger's well, no, I don't know if Gunslingers has to do that for me. I think that's actually maybe better for someone that's not going warrior.
I like to optimize within the constraints of a peculiar, often suboptimal character concept. Because those, I think, are where the most interesting new directions lie.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, anybody can find the tried and true character archetype, but I want to play something different. I want to play something unusual.
So
Oh,
I
yeah.
do something similar also. I don't necessarily have to be like the best fighter, but my character has to be not unoptimal or suboptimal, I should say. My character has to be not suboptimal, otherwise it just grates at me. As an example of one of those bending the box kind of situations, in my Worlds game that I play after this, I'm playing a full warrior that will end up at level 10 with 2 combat foci. Stab at, I think, maxes out at 3, and I'm just putting everything into social skills and social foci. I'm bending the warrior by letting the warrior's like natural attack bonus and the extra damage act as the warrior, and then focusing on everything
Yeah.
else.
That sounds great. A very gregarious warrior.
Yeah.
I'm very willing to. Go ahead.
Nope, I was finished.
Fine. I'm very willing to optimize to the point that I meet baseline utility and everything else. I'm not trying to be
Mhm.
not trying to make the most effective person at a given role. I'd like to at least meet, like if I'm playing a fighter and I want to optimize for anything, the minimum goal is to meet the average for a damage dealer if I'm playing a damage dealer, or the average for a skill monkey if I'm playing a skill monkey.
Fair.
Or as I like to
Outside
call
of
them,
that,
skunkies.
Perfect.
Yeah.
beautiful. Outside of that, I'll do some wacky shit. Like I'm currently putting together a either wizard, artificer, or intelligence warlock, where the whole point is to be the most insufferable know-it-all.
So, Jai.
I tried to play that character in a recent Pathfinder game, and it was so frustrating because the GM didn't want my character who started off with literally plus 11 in every skill, or in every knowledge skill. That was my shtick. He didn't want me circumventing things, so he artificially inflated knowledge check lore difficulties, or just didn't give me useful information when I used those skills.
That's lame.
Well, I hope you don't experience any situation like that here, and I think Lulu can
Probably
attest
not.
that I'm pretty good.
Considering that, yes, Jai was allowed to whisper to the universe and learn the universe's secrets.
To be fair, he had a focus that specifically was called Universe Whisperer. I mean, no, it wasn't.
Yeah, it might as well have been.
It was poorly
That's
written, but I rolled
rolling
with it.
straight
No,
up.
no, that's like those like isekais where it's like, oh, these skills have combined to form a new skill.
I think
It probably helped that he rolled actual D&D numbers at the same time.
he did. I think I'm stuck on the optimal. Just one last point. I think I just don't.
All right, I'm back.
It feels bad to me if like I'm playing a character that's supposed to be good at let's say hacking. I'm going into programming and all that, and I have a 11 intelligence. I'm like, then why am I? That just bothers me. I want that +1 from the stat.
Yeah.
That's the kind of
that's the
suboptimal
thing
that
that
bothers
bothers
me.
me from.
I don't mind it so much in the sense that, like, if a character has a shtick, they should have the stats to be good at that shtick.
Right.
But I don't like it when the difficulties or the baseline expectation is balanced around somebody who has min-maxed.
Hmm.
So that if you haven't min-maxed, you are automatically at a deficit.
No, and that's actually one of the
Yeah.
things that I really like about Stars is it tries to cut out that problem. I feel like it does.
Its ability to succeed varies a bit. Like, I'd say someone who only has like a +0 from their actual stat is, they're significantly worse than someone who rolled well in that stat.
Well, sure.
Just because there's not many bonuses to get.
I think the argument that I have made to this position before is that skill checks aren't supposed to all be 8s, 10s, and 12s. Well, they're not all supposed to be 10s and 12s. If the majority of skill checks that are not super important but are still meaningful are 6s and 8s and maybe 10s, then a character with a 0 in the stat and untrained can attempt those 6s and 8s and has a reasonable chance decided by the dice. A character who has a 0 in the stat and a 1 in the skill, just because it was kind of an off skill, can even attempt difficulty 10 and feel good about their odds. Whereas in past games, I know that D&D 5e has kind of curtailed some of this, but in past versions of D&D, if you weren't actually good and focused in a skill, then you did not try those skill checks.
No, I'm absolutely not disagreeing. D&D
Yeah.
was horrid about this.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. For all that I
absolutely
like about
awful.
D&D 4, it had a severe difficulty threshold treadmill.
Yeah, there was a disincentive to attempt anything that you're not the person designed for it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna disagree there. D&D is honestly, I'd say 5e is still worse about it than
Okay.
this system is. Even if 5e is a lot better about it than previous editions of D&D.
Mm-hmm.
But I still want. Maybe it's just because I've been playing a lot of L5R recently and a lot of a decent amount of. Not recently, but I have played a decent amount of the newer Star Wars systems. I've gotten used to systems that are extremely good about trying things, about being willing to try things outside of your expertise and still have a reasonable chance of success. So I think that's where my baseline is right now.
I love it when my warrior in my Monday night game, who's not particularly charismatic but isn't, uncharismatic, definitely
Right.
isn't great at social, has -1 to all the social skills. I love being asked, okay, roll talk. I'm like, sweet, let's see how I can mess this up.
Well, and that's games that have fail forward mentality. That came up in discussion recently. They have an advantage there too, where you're incentivized to do things that your character isn't good at because you know that there will be an interesting outcome regardless.
All right, that is actually why I really like Powered by the Apocalypse systems are definitely not for everyone, but I really love them because they encourage that mentality.
Oh, because that's one where you gain experience when you fail,
Yeah.
right?
Well, not only that, but there's always an interesting consequence regardless of what the outcome is.
See, I don't actually like that as a inbuilt system. I like it's like skill challenges. I don't want it to be everything. I want to pick and choose where that applies. You're not always going to fail forward. You're not always going to get rewarded in some lateral way for failing a skill check. Sometimes you just fail. I'm more on that side of that discussion there. And sometimes you fail so badly that you block things off.
I think if failure just cause the advantage of these failing forward systems is that failure doesn't cause the entire thing to come to a screeching halt. In cases where you just fail, sometimes it does. And it can cause the whole narrative to just like be dead until you like everyone takes a 15-minute breaks and has to come back later to try like backing off for a while.
No, I feel like that's more a failing of the GM and the narrative than any mechanic that was used. If a hard fail just completely derails what the game is doing, then the GM perhaps didn't pivot quickly enough. You know, if the GM decides that failing this check to do this important thing is just going to lock this out, the characters need something to put their attention onto. They can't just stare at that door, you know, to use a simple example. They can't just stare at that door for the next 10 minutes like, well, this door is supposed to open and it's not. What do we do now? The GM needs to be able to turn that into something that's interesting, engaging, even if it's just calling up a scene for the characters. You know, bring some cops around to ask, what are you doing here? Make it still engaging, but it doesn't necessarily, the GM isn't necessarily obligated to let characters continue to progress even laterally if their dice fail.
I think that is failing forward, though. It's not that you make lateral progression through the intended adventure, it's that the adventure progresses in a different direction, perhaps, but it always continues moving forward.
And that's I'd agree.
In that case, I agree with you.
Yeah, those systems I think facilitate that. And while you're right that it can happen in systems like this, it does put a lot more onus on the GM, which not all GMs are capable of, and we shouldn't assume they are, because like everyone's got a different level of skill, and if we only allowed like the top 10% of GMs to GM, we'd be a little lacking for games.
Yep, I wouldn't be here.
Fail forward systems help train GMs in that skill set, and moreover, if they're already trained in that skill set, they allow good GMs, or let's say expert GMs, to devote that fraction of their attention to other things.
Right.
See, it needs to be more expressly explained that way, because fail forward, every time I see it being, well, not every time, almost every time I see it being presented, it's some kind of progression that basically feels like a participation award.
I wouldn't think of it that way.
Okay.
Like in some cases, yeah, it can get that way. Though usually it's in the service of the narrative, which personally I think is fine. Ultimately, a lot of this boils down to where you stand on whether you think role-playing games are collaborative storytelling or not. Which those sorts of games do fall down more on that side of things.
I'm gonna refocus us here. I do want to get back, as I know that Nox has tried to interject twice, got run over. Once of those by me. So, I mean, it just happens. Nox, did you still remember what you wanted to say there?
No, I'm gone. I've lost it completely.
I'm so sorry. All right. So let's go ahead and move back, refocus to Darkstar War. I believe everybody has their character finished, or mostly finished, knows what the character is. Let's get some details. Real quick backstory. Tulare, I know that you've already said it, and you've already got yours prepared. If you could, just put that out on the airwaves for us once more.
Oogie Tromar is a runaway serf. He previously was a trusted servant on his master's estate, in charge of some of the commercial affairs of the estate, and was very good at what he did. Uh, when the old master passed away and his son took over the estate, things went downhill. The son was demanding and violent, and just generally created a very poor working environment for the servants on the estate. And Oogie knew that his skill set would serve him well practically anywhere, and so he decided to leave. However, he did leave behind some fellow serfs, in particular a friend named Park. And as a result of that, he has some regrets, but there wasn't anything that he could do on the inside, because obviously serfs and slaves and others, other chattel people on Kamiego are not in really any position to affect change. And so when the opportunity arose to join this organization, even though he is aware that there is a specific mission, the fact that by doing this he gains access to equipment and to power, his previous self kind of had this idea that even if he doesn't remember, he'll still have this ethic, right? This idea that he wants to improve things here. And so with the capabilities that he's gaining here, yes, he wants to help the broader sector. He wants to fight this war that has been pitched to him, but he's got an ulterior motive in that he's going to gain new abilities and new resources that he can use to promote change for the better on his homeworld.
Okay. And it probably doesn't hurt that on arriving at Dry Sun, the base of operations for the Raza, he has seen what would be thought impossible on Kamiego. A town that is running fine, has farms, and no slavery.
And access to,
Wow.
high levels of technology. Yeah.
Yeah.
Turns out that's really the big problem with Kamiego. It's the water issue.
Yeah. The those positive changes that someone on Kamiego would want to see are being exhibited at Dry Sun. Alright, who wants to go next? Doesn't have to be as in-depth as Tulare. Thank you. But also can be. I may have watched too much Community lately. I'm starting to talk like Troy.
Wow. As long as you don't start talking like Abed.
I kind of want a long backstory, but I kind of don't. Meowkin, Nux, Lulu?
Oh, lordy.
Sorry, my roll 20 crashed.
Oh.
Because I was trying to pull information. I'm unable to
Gotcha.
use character information.
Well, while you're getting that back up, Meowkin or Lulu, you got something for us?
I still need a name.
Lulu.
But, well, I can get some. So my concept is perhaps it's not as developed as Tulaire's, but anyways, older kind of mercenary fellow working on Kamiego, basically did one too many dirty jobs. Is kind of getting a conscience and feeling like maybe perhaps with the stories of the Raza, getting a feeling that maybe that he could change and actually achieve some good.
Okay.
I'd like to think that like the triggering incident was probably something to do with like probably harming a kid, and that was like the last straw. I couldn't do it.
Okay.
Outwardly fairly, I guess, apathetic, but secretly, like has some hope.
Okay.
I don't want to say I wouldn't say gruff necessarily personality wise, but
All right. Sounds good. Zulu or Nox?
So this one's gonna be more because I'm not entirely settled on this yet, and because I'm not doing the original pirate idea since I'm going for more of an expert instead of
Okay. Fair.
a warrior type. So what I'm thinking is and names change. Name is subject to change, but for now I'm gonna go with calling him. Let's settle on Connor McGraw. That's a good solid name. Uh, a born Union man. Proudly served on a series of merchant vessels from the independent systems all the way to the north of the sector near I forget what the planets are up there. uh I need to look up the systems again.
You talking about the hidden ones or the one where
The ones that are public. He wasn't serving on in
Okay.
hidden systems. He was serving on like merchant vessels mostly.
Okay. Were they
Um,
Union merchant vessels or were they just merchants?
mostly actual Union vessels.
Okay.
There was a bit of time where he did freelancing earlier on, but he came back. Pay was decent. Camaraderie was good, and for a time there, the Union held good to their promises with benefits for people in them. He had a wife, kids, sons grew up. Sons were growing up like weeds there on Astos. Of course,
then they got to that
sometimes growing.
devil's lettuce.
Yeah,
Sorry.
sure. No, sometimes grown kids, of course, have start getting ideas, start thinking for themselves, talking out against the powers that be, and of course, sometimes they run afoul of the those
The
with the
authority.
say when they don't. So he happened to wander home one day to find his house ransacked, family missing.
Mm.
When he looked into it, was denied. Was shoot away. Told they were just brought in for questioning. Days went on. Eventually, he got fed up and went to check things out for himself, hacked into their feed, and hacked into some of the records there. Built up some skills in spaceships with programming over time, if you've served in the comms long enough. And ended up finding a recording of his eldest boy getting a bullet through the head.
Ooh.
As you might imagine, this didn't sit well with Connor. So as soon as he could, he jumped ship in the next system and signed on with a band of pirates. Planned to raid Union cargo shipping lines. Get some payback. From there, well, pretty obvious how he found his way to the Raza from there.
All right.
Make sense?
Sounds good. Nox, you up for this?
Yeah, just do me a favor. Can you give me the name of the planet again?
The planet that
Was it
you're
Canagir?
currently on?
The planet that I'd come from. Was it Canagiris?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Canagiris. In the gun system.
Mm-hmm.
I 100% didn't spell that right, but that's okay. Uh, from a young age, Amaya Wabakri was a bomb maker on Canagiris under duress. When they had a chance to escape, she took it, and has offered their services to the Raza in part to erase the scars that the enforced servitude left on them.
Okay,
That's all I got.
that's fine.
That's good.
I heard both a they and a she in there. What are their pronouns?
She, they, appropriately.
Okay, thank you.
Fair enough.
Do you have any preference which of the factions she was kind of almost press ganged into working for? Because you're not working for one of the factions, you're an enemy.
I will read into it once I have that information. I can't access it on Roll20 because I can't scroll in those menus on Roll20.
Okay, not a problem. If you'd like, I can post it into Discord for you.
Please.
Okay, yep. And I'm going to leave that question to you while I move on with the next bullet point here. Core personality traits from those past experiences. So I'm asking for 3 traits, 1 affection, or if you don't think that an affection for a specific person, place, or object, not an ideal or concept, is appropriate, then you can substitute that for a trait, or I guess you could substitute it for an affection or a concept. I don't know. I'm not your father. And a value judgment. Value judgment being something like values strong leadership, values being given opportunity to fly, but values being given choice in matters. I want those 5 qualities for each character. I'm going to tell you right now, these are actually relevant. They're not. They actually have mechanics attached to them. They're not just for roleplay. These qualities affect how easily your character can access the memories that are stored on their QED after the memories have been stored on the QED. The closer your character is afterwards to their pre-personality, the easier it is. That is a great question with a funny answer, in my opinion at least. It is a quantum entanglement device that has nothing to do with quantum.
Yeah, it's the name means nothing. Don't worry about it.
There are some parallels to quantum, but it's not actually quantum. So, who would like to express those qualities first? Is anybody prepared with them? Or do you want me to give you more time?
Oogie is meticulous, gloomy, and materialistic. He has an affection for Park, a fellow serf whom Oogie regrets leaving behind. He values integrity and professionalism.
Perfect. Beautiful. That was values, professionalism, and how did you say that?
He values integrity,
Integrity.
and professionalism.
Okay. I am.
And, incidentally, this is already listed on the bio and info tab of my Roll20 character sheet.
Fantastic. I would have to change your view to look at that though, because roll 20. All right. Who's next?
Still typing. Let me see. What was it? It's. Let's see. Traits. Value as a verb.
While we have a slight lull, I'll ask if you can even hear it. How is everyone enjoying this background music?
I think it stopped for me a while ago.
Okay, of course.
Yeah.
Roll 20. Okay.
I did hear it though. It was pretty good earlier. When I could hear it.
The artist that I primarily pull music from had released this like a week ago, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is so perfect for like the mood and the feel going into this next stage of the campaign.
It honestly makes it think of this X4 music. It's very similar.
The what music? Oh, X4.
X4, yeah.
I heard something
Space Game.
completely different.
Let's see. Values.
It was very faint when I could hear it, but I liked what I heard.
Unfortunately, this track does have a lot of variation in volume, so it's yeah, I have to keep it kind of low, otherwise it distracts me, and can't be heard on the stream. So it's gonna be inaudible in some sections, I think. I tried putting
What's up? Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I tried putting a filter on Streamlabs so that it could not go above a certain volume, but in quick recording test, it didn't sound good doing that.
What I did hear reminded me of a Spotify mix that I like to listen to during roleplay games. That is called Dark Ambient Post-Industrial.
Nice. What's up, Nox?
Could you re-explain the traits? I think there was a little requirement that the traits had to meet, and I forgot what that was.
There are. I'm gonna go ahead and put them also in discussion. So there's 3 traits that are just a simple 1 or 2 word description. Using Tulare as an example, meticulous was 1 trait, gloomy is a trait, and materialistic was a 3rd trait. The 4th quality is something that the character has affection for, something or someone or someplace. Or if that's not appropriate, another trait. And the 5th is a value judgment. Values violence, violent solutions. Should be something that can actually come up as like seeing somebody doing this action makes this character feel better about that character.
So I feel like I don't. Let me see.
Would it help if I gave an example from an NPC that you know? Oh shoot, I don't have one.
Oh, you already have the examples from the 28th.
Okay.
Or 4 different examples. Well, let me go ahead and that's what I've put together right now. So I don't have a name, or I haven't really settled on an age, but somewhere older.
Okay.
Outwardly apathetic, but does hold on to anger. He has an affection for ambitious youngsters, like seeing potential. Heavily burdened by regrets. I'm not sure if that's. I guess that's kind of a trait.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Secretly harbors hope for a better future.
That
I
works
guess
for me.
in spite of regrets, I suppose I should say, but that could be implied. And values hard work.
Nox and Lulu, you think?
Yeah, I'm still pondering how to write things out for this.
Okay.
I'm working on an affection.
Okay. Do you mind if I move forward with Tulair and Meowkin while your
Go
mission
ahead.
is up? Okay. So, Tulair, you already kind of answered this, but my next question here is, why did your PC agree to this memory wipe?
Well, things weren't all that great for him before all this, and he was in a position of limited power. And therefore, it was advantageous to him to accept a compromise that would both allow him to forget some of the injustices of his past while enabling him to find a better place in the future, both for himself and for those poor people of Camiego with whom he identifies.
All right. And Meowkin.
Well, the obvious one is, hey, forget some of those regrettable actions.
Mm-hmm.
Or I guess regrettable jobs that he has heavy regrets over. And would basically believes that this will help him move forward while achieving his goals for hopefully a better future. Because there has to be a universe for there to be a future.
All right. How you doing over there with the traits, Lulu and Nox?
I can read what I've got, but
Okay.
I'm still missing an affection. But the traits that I have are reckless or impatient. I think active actually fits into the same thing. But then optimistic was the third one. And then as a value judgment, I have will fight to death or dismemberment for freedom or autonomy.
Dismemberment, that's specific.
That sounds like an affection for autonomy.
I mean, if it fits, then sure.
Can we reword the values to simply values, affection, or autonomy, or does that take too much away from it?
Sure, but
Or, if I may suggest, perhaps replacing the affection with will fight to death or dismemberment for personal values.
sure.
Okay, I'm not trying to put words in your character's personality.
No, I was under the impression that affection had to be something like tangible, and so that's why I was having problems with it.
Yeah, no, it is supposed to be, but if nothing fits, then just replace that with something else. And a willingness to fight to the death, for those personal values is certainly a valid trait.
Death or dismemberment.
Or dismemberment, yes. That's important.
That raises some very troubling questions. Like, just how much autonomy do you have if somebody has cut off your arms and legs?
Can I replace them with robot arms and legs? That is an option in this game. Also, Amaya was held under the Firsters faction.
Yeah.
I have it so far as a kind of spoils of war kind of thing.
Oof. Okay. Prisoner of
where they were
war
collected
turned
and then put to
useful.
work. Yeah.
Well, not turned useful, but prisoner of war put to work doing dangerous things.
Yep.
Which system is Kamiego in?
In Zenthra.
Oh yeah, right, Center. I knew that. Rusty Shackleford. No, I ain't gonna do that.
All right.
As for why I'd gone through with the memory deletion? I've already answered it, but to get rid of some of the psychological and mental scars from that period of time.
Okay.
Just a bunch of characters that really need a psychiatrist.
Not anymore, they don't.
All right, here, I'm going to type my values, and you can see how much they differ from Jai.
that first word has already floored me.
Yeah.
Knowledge for the knowledge gods.
All right, cool. And why did our friendly and gregarious daring sneak opt for this? Agree to have their memory wiped?
You watch your son. Its brains blown out. You think? What? You tell me, Dex. You
Needs
tell
a psychiatrist. That's what I said.
No, I'm the GM. It's not my job to tell you.
All right. Why did he agree to this?
Uh-huh.
All right.
I mean, was it that to forget that?
If he saw his oldest son die, he did not see his younger kids die, and I think he's at heart like a very decent person. Like if his other kid's alive, if his wife is still alive, this place needs to be made safe for him, right? And if this is the only way to do it, if this is the right way to go on, and he was convinced of it, then I think he'd be willing to he'd be willing to do it if this is really the best way to go about fighting these things. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And it's worth pointing out that I did roll a fucking 17 in intelligence for him. Like if the data is good, he could probably be convinced on that route. Like this man, despite being, like open, honest sailor as can be, he's smart. He is very smart. He knows what's not. He can probably grasp what's needed.
Okay. I do think it's interesting that every character has some variety of trauma in the past.
We all really should be seeing a psychiatrist, but instead we found this route.
The closest thing to a psychiatrist in like 3 parsecs is Jai.
And you know what's
Good luck.
And you know what Jai's suggesting is just wipe your memories.
Go figure. Slavery doesn't have a good mental health plan.
Yeah. No, don't worry. I think Jai was at one point legally permitted to prescribe drugs.
he was at one point, yes.
And now he's in a position to, nobody's going to stop him
Yeah.
from prescribing drugs.
He can illegally prescribe them.
What's kind of ironic, if anybody in the world, universe, or beyond ever uses that word correctly, is that the QED was developed with psychotherapy and, therapeutic intent in mind to begin with.
You know,
I
I
was
don't think
gonna-
we ever really. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's definitely got vibes of Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
But I don't think we ever really clarified how exactly the old crew got their hands on them in the first place.
No, in fact, I was talking to somebody about my campaign the other day, and I was amusing myself with the fact that that is still an unknown mystery. That's still a campaign story beat that is just it's there for the next reset to explore.
Hmm.
Okay, that's fantastic. I did have a what is their personality now question here, but I think I'm going to strike that from our session 0 and let that be explored through the coming games. I know that I usually spend a couple of sessions developing, testing things out unconsciously, and kind of redesigning what I thought my character was going to be. So I don't feel like asking you what the personality now is truly fair. So I'm going to strike that. Everything that you've given us so far was their past personality. They've now had their memories wiped, and you can either take this as a clean slate for them, guided in some part by these core values that you've just listed, but not restrained to them, not confined to them. They're just kind of like an arrow in a video game. You can certainly follow that because that's where it leads you, but you don't have to in a lot of them these days. Or you can absolutely, your character reconforms to these kind of core traits that they've built up over a lifetime of experiences that they no longer remember. Let's go on to those questions, because those questions, you guys seemed to like them a lot more than I expected. I was writing them, I'm like, they're gonna hate this, but it's okay because it's just one question. Yeah, you took that.
I really dug into them.
Yeah.
I
So
wanted it to be a surprise.
you what?
Said I wanted it to be a surprise.
Oh, what, the answer to the question or the question that you answer?
The questions. Let's see. I was just saying I hadn't read them until now.
Oh, gotcha.
Though I guess I could just.
Were they actually behind a spoiler tag?
They were supposed to be, yeah.
Yeah, they weren't for me.
Oh, they might not be on mobile. I have not checked on my phone.
Oh.
Yeah.
Weird.
Which I must have left my phone downstairs.
All right, well, Tulare, I know that you have yours already worked out, so you mind going first?
I left myself this letter. Hello, self. I suppose that's what they told us we had to entitle the file. I talk about somebody named Park. And my old self must have been kind of daft because it didn't tell me too much about this person. Only that I ought to do right by him. Don't know how I'll recognize him. Don't even know really how I feel about him now. But in any case, supposedly that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Well, there's a lot of baggage left behind there. But I am who I am now. And I reckon I've been given a fresh start for a reason. That old guy maybe wasn't too bright. And I can't say I'm too happy with him. But this is what he's left me. And so now I got something to do. There's work to be done. And I'm not one to leave a job unfinished.
So I got the sense that this was 2 and 9. Did I guess that correctly?
You guessed that correctly.
Fantastic. And credit to you for making that evident. Let's see. Well, let's hear from someone else. Not sure which of those I'll consider to have been taken. But again, I'm definitely not holding strictly to a you can't answer, can't have two characters answering the same question. I've realized that they're going to be unique enough that even if everybody answered the same question, we'd still get some interesting results there. So, who wants to go next? No, I'm sorry, Crickets. You're not playing this game. I haven't given the Crickets a character sheet. The Crickets cannot
I
go
was gonna
next.
say,
Wow, this is biased against.
it may be
crickets.
time. It may be time to invest in a crickets button.
Chirp, 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 chirp. Hmm.
I mean, I can always just kind of assume a compliment in the difficulty of answering a question, that the questions
They're
were
just
well
all
written.
so good. How do you
Yeah,
choose one?
right? And always give yourself a compliment when nobody else is. Oh man, that actually
You're
sounded.
so buff.
You can always roll a die.
Yeah, I could.
Let's see. Yeah, we've got about an hour left. I don't need to necessarily rush you guys.
Hmm. Sort of hobby. Probably not playing Delta Rain.
Everyone plays Delta Rain. It's mandated.
While you
Oh,
three
is that in the is that in Dry Sun?
Yeah.
While you three
No,
are
we need
pondering-
a new game. Delta Rain is old news. We need the hot new MMO.
Mm.
What is it?
Lordy, I can't even think of I don't even have a character name yet. You can't expect me to come up with another name.
No, I'm going to use this time while you three are pondering your questions to give Talera an opportunity to ask clarification for any parts of the setting and story so far that I may have been that I may not have explained because I kind of trying to tread a line between what they already know and what needs to be known.
I think I've got a reasonably good idea, and I imagine that part of the campaign, maybe during session 1, will be an actual briefing, like what we would have been told as characters in preparation for the work that we're doing.
Yeah, I can certainly include that. I don't anticipate the first mission that you go on to be particularly difficult. So I think that spending a little bit of time in there will not necessarily deprive you of will not deprive you of necessary time that you need. Well, while then I'll use this time to give you a little bit of an idea of how I intend to do XP and missions here, because I am changing it up from the pure sandbox of the last campaign. I had settled on an 8-session timer for missions, but I feel like that's long because not everything's going to take that long. So there's also going to be short missions which have a 4-session timer. What happens if that timer is exceeded? Well, you're. I'll just have to figure out how to wrap things up, but basically that's a point at which your characters stop having effective influence on that, and whatever you've done so far, it plays out. In some cases, that might just mean that it fails, and you're going back with what you managed to gather in that.
So, I did want to say I'm not sure how I feel about that because it seems like it's one of those things that's hard to really control, I guess. And having the time limit be out of character doesn't really make sense because like there are things we can't plan,
Mhm.
and that you can't plan there that might things make things take longer or shorter or whatever.
Mhm.
So I think like just not setting a time limit and having it be and having like the ability to influence things be like more fluid than that might be
I'm
wiser.
I'm going to leave that as a backup. That's Plan B. Um, I want to try with the set basically mission timer for these, and
Okay.
we're all just going to have to try and balance the role play because I still demand role play. The planning kind of may need to curtail some excessive planning.
Thank
Um,
God.
and that is actually part of the reason for sticking to the timer is knowing that it's there means that hopefully we don't have an hour and a half conversation on the details. Half an hour maybe, but an hour and a half might go a little bit far. For if it doesn't work out, if it's actively being unfun, then yeah, I absolutely will either make adjustments to it or just revert to a purely sandbox where I'm counting the days and counting time in a uh, more rigid but more sandboxy fashion. So your concern is noted. I have the same concern, but I do want to test this out.
Okay.
Um, I plan for you to gain 4 XP at the end of a short mission, whether you complete that mission in 1 session or 4. Um, if you don't complete it, if you get to the end of 4 and you don't complete it, I think I'm still going to give you the 4 XP. I don't want to penalize you any further than the fiction already. Um, if you end up at the end of something because you're already going to feel somewhat bad for not achieving all of your objectives. Um, and similarly, the regular sized missions, the long ones, to have a timer of 8 sessions, are going to be 8 XP. If you finish that in 5, then that's more XP than I was giving out in the prior campaign.
Okay.
There may also be bonus immediate XP for uh, certain roleplay, great solutions, innovations, similar to how I did bonus XP in Darkstar Vacant. I
Okay.
may be a little bit stingier with them though, considering that I already know or I anticipate you'll be getting much more than 1 XP per session on average.
We'll see how things go, right?
Yeah, yeah. And if at any point I'm not picking up on this being a general fun drain, please tell me. Bring it up. Let me know. Let me know what you perceive as the issues, and we'll adapt. I don't want to run a campaign just the way I want to run it, just because I want to run it that way. Um, I'm not the only one that's supposed to be having fun here. I am the most important, but I'm not the only one.
Okay.
If absolutely nothing else, I admire the motivation here behind it, because pacing is often a big problem in RPGs.
Yeah, and what's funny too, this came up as I was I used YouTube to sing me to sleep, and this came up as a video last night, well this morning technically. It was a video game theorist talking about a game called The Longing, which takes 400 days to play. I'll post a link to it later, but it was an absolutely fascinating video that just kind of supported some of my ideas about this and gave me a little bit more perspective that I hadn't thought of. All right.
I've seen a review of that game. I'm familiar with it.
Cool. This guy talked more about timing and pacing in games overall. He just used The Longing as effectively an essay structure or opener. But enough about me talking. How are you guys doing on those questions? And no, I don't mean the question about what game is played on Kamiega.
Well, I mean, it could be relevant.
Could be, yeah.
I don't know. I'm just trying to think if there would be a
Well,
collectible card game on a planet like
technically
Kamiega.
that would fall under question 5.
What sort of business operations would actually be planet-wide?
Trading water.
Probably not collectible card
Trying
games.
to think if Kamiega would have sufficient infrastructure for a planet-wide MMO, or if it would be exclusive just to towns, and then there probably wouldn't be enough people with the equipment to play it, because slaves certainly wouldn't be able to.
They get together for LAN parties.
I think it may be more likely that Dustlands Zeta is a Kamiego themed MMO that isn't played on Kamiego.
For people that want a Kamiego experience without the Kamiego experience.
Yeah,
Everyone.
absolutely. You start off
Literally everyone.
you start off as a slave and have to escape. That's your first quest,
Huh.
which is
You know,
something
for some reason I'm getting like vibes of like what's the game? Kensei?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, yes, it's Kensei the MMO.
Yeah, I like that idea. I'd play that. Shit.
Yeah.
That sounds like a horrific combination of Kensei and EVE Online, factoring in the people, the players element.
Yep.
Oh, that's awful. That's awfully awesome.
It is awful, and it is absolutely the game that exists now.
Yes, it is. Dustlands Zeta exists. It is played. Pirates have networked together comm servers in their gas giant orbits with relays and stuff. They use the gas giants to hide from Galactic Mandate. And it is most abuzz in this pirate swarm area, but it has also made its way out into the greater sector.
It's nowhere near the popularity of Deltarune yet, but it is booming.
Oh
no! What now?
2,000 hours.
Jesus Christ!
And what?
Well,
Kensei?
No.
EVE Online.
I haven't played it for 5 years.
Yeah, I see that.
Oh God.
Oh.
Also, space required 200 megs. Wow.
That is tiny,
That is
actually.
Is dwarfed,
Yeah.
by the way, by Arc.
Yeah.
Worked by a lot of games nowadays.
Arc is like literally a gigabyte on my drive.
Yeah.
Like, you mean a terabyte?
What I
You said
Maybe.
gigabyte. It's way more than a gigabyte. It's
It's
at least
more than
100
it.
It's at least 100 gigabyte.
200 megabytes.
Is
The game
it?
is smaller
Alright,
than
yeah.
RuneScape.
I'm gonna bring us back to some time
It might
pressure
be
here.
a terabyte.
Yeah, that's a good idea, honestly.
Yeah. I
It's not
do have a
accurate.
couple more things, and we are now starting to run out of time.
am-
Yeah.
So I volunteered to save the universe.
Okay.
And I would imagine probably without my regrets and everything, it feels a little weird that I would have done that. I guess touching on like the hello video or hello self video,
Hmm?
was probably some mentioned as like, so you did something real bad, or like, so you haven't lived a good life, kind of deal.
Hmm.
Without the memories, it probably feels particularly strange. Like, why would I volunteer for this? It's
So
like basically questioning. Yeah, so it's like, how does that make you feel? So it's like, definitely strange. And was the cost worth it? It's like, not really sure.
cool.
It's
Perfect.
like really hard to say. I mean, it's like, yeah, it's like, how do I judge the cost? I really kind of think it's like, what's the cost worth? It's like, well, how do you judge it?
Mhm.
You don't remember really.
Mm.
Okay, that's great. Nox or Lulu?
I've got one. It's not very long, but my video self tells me that I was given the opportunity to do this because I was good with weapons and machines. I had some schematics and worksheets left behind so that I could more easily get back into the work. It feels good to open things up and see how they operate. But they needed fighters as well, and so I don't intend to disappoint.
Wait, which question was this?
That was a combination between 3 and
Oh, yeah, I can. Okay, definitely see
5.
that.
The
I
hobby
need it.
resumes.
Yeah, 3, 5, and 4. 3, 4, and 5.
Okay. All right, Lulu.
Wait, so which ones have been covered then?
I'm lifting the restriction on no duplicates.
Particularly
All right,
I'll
that's
be
fair.
A
honest.
whole new question.
That the no duplicates was part of just a mechanic that, like, I have this 10 questions mechanic for in my mind for other things, but the 10 questions were like, what did you do when you went down to the store? They were simple,
All right.
basic things in my mind for a different campaign. They weren't as in depth as this, and I don't feel like
Yeah.
the restrictions really make sense here. Whatever question
right.
is best for you to answer, go ahead.
Okay. Let's see. So, entire lifetime behind me. And I don't remember a second of it. It's an odd thing. These things I'm telling my all these things I'm telling myself in this this video. These pictures I'm showing me. Faces. I think I see them in my dreams sometime. Oh, I can't really place them. A wife. A pair of sons. Well, just one now, it seems. If even that. Strange thing. It feels empty, but there's an ache there. Still. Decision wasn't wrong. I wouldn't have made it if it was wrong. I don't think I would have anyway. Here, volunteered to save this universe. Make sure that what family I had still lives. They'll continue living. And in the event they don't, that others don't have to suffer the same. That's good enough to work with. I've sat here for long enough. I need to get back to the ship. Make sure we haven't sprung another crack in the hull. I'm leaving this. Connor out. All right, that work for you, Dex?
Yeah. Kind of ventured into the actual Hello Self video that I'll be asking you to do again later. But
Yeah, I'm sorry.
no, that's fine. That's absolutely not a criticism.
How
It
dare.
works. All right. So let's see. Those are the questions. I just as a suggestion, start thinking about what you'll say when I ask you in the first few sessions to we'll take a quick little sidebar and have you actually say in the Hello Self video what your character pre-wipe said pre-QED wants to say to their post-QED self. I do want those voiced / role played on stream. And I'm also
Okay.
going to clip them out so that as a highlighted section, and copy them into the collection that will be containing all these. So they'll be easy to come back to at some point. If I can figure it out, I'm also going to copy, include all the little sections of your own stuff from this session, but that might be too advanced for me.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Oh, that does remind me. You said you wanted us to decide something about the ship?
Yeah, we're getting to that.
Okay.
That is coming up after knowing your squad.
Okay.
So, I'd initially said I wanted 2 experiences with at least 2 different characters. That might be too much. What I ultimately want is for each character to have had at least one experience with another character, and that's achieved by simply going round robin and asking each of you to come up with something as agreed by another player.
Okay.
So, who would like to make a friend first?
I just went, so not me.
That's fair.
Is it?
I declare it fair.
Nose goes.
I'm telling you, this cricket machine, it's a crazy investment.
Oh, yeah.
They said pair of sons,
Oh,
but with their accent. Pair of sons.
nice.
Oh, Lord.
I didn't catch that. Pair of Sons is probably also a soapy drama, I imagine. Soapy romance drama.
I like it. We all just remember Paris as a place of romance. We don't actually know what it means.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we've got almost everyone here. Not almost everyone. 2 of you are from Kamiego already. That's half. Yeah, that's almost everyone.
I'm pretty sure there was another person that was planning to be from Kamiega. If that was still gonna hold true.
I think so. Josh we'll catch up Josh a little bit later. So,
Do you intend the experience with the other character to be something pre-QED or in the last month since we've begun working together?
in the last month since you've begun working together.
Okay.
Probably, most likely on Kamiego in Dry Sun, but if you have an idea for something that they've gone out on an operation and done, then I'm all ears.
I mean, I imagine like for a first month, a lot of it's also kind of like trying to refamiliarize yourself with your skills, make sure they're all as you listed them still there.
Yeah, you're you know what? Let's do this the other way around. There's also NPCs that you can have some experiences with. So, Harry, Riley, and who else did I say was excluded? Oh, Starcross are all actually here at various points, so they're also available to have an interaction with. But let's start off with interactions with some of these NPCs. Is it a point of interest of anyone to interact with Riley, a 15-year-old girl who apparently has a ghost attached to her?
Yeah, particularly seeing. I think so. It's like you gotta learn about your enemy and I guess your ally too.
Okay.
It's like so how exactly does that happen? And you know,
Yeah.
like I guess Riley is safe from possession too, seeing as they're already essentially possessed.
Riley is safe from possession.
Yeah. Seems like that'd be a lot easier than wiping our memories. But I guess from what I understand, there's benefits to having wiped my memory too.
So yeah, that sounds like a fantastic little scene that your character and Riley can have. Crew can't speak to your character for himself, but Riley can paraphrase. And in 15-year-old, somewhat entitled and spoiled girl fashion. Not saying that all 15-year-old girls are entitled and spoiled, but this one is.
Well, always been treated as special, right?
She has always been treated as special. Yep. She can certainly have a conversation with this grizzled old veteran, and the kind of the sense that comes out of her is that there just aren't enough of the Vega who have apparently taken a liking to humans for that to be a viable way of a viable alternative to wiping your memory, to turning you vacant, as what she says.
Yeah, so it's like kind of like Grant's like, yeah, well, that's fair.
But Riley does take a liking to this older merc. Riley is teaching a class in all of these proceedings on the dangers of the Vega and on ranging yourself. There have been volunteers to be possessed by crew, and it's an unnerving, unsettling sight to see a ball of light zip over to somebody and that person to stand stock rigid, and then
Crew couldn't possess anyone else.
most bonded Iden aren't able to.
Oh.
And if I did say in our last campaign that that Riley or someone said crew couldn't possess anyone,
I don't know if it was ever explicitly said. I just knew that the relationship, the bonding was different.
the bonding is very different. And Riley also this is covered in the class. Riley at some point explains that free Vega don't have the same restrictions or difficulties as crew does. Crew possesses somebody, and if that person gets touched by somebody else, then crew gets rejected. That person's soul, their memories, whatever you want to call it, kicks crew out. The free Vega that aren't bonded to somebody, when they float in and attach to someone, there's no way of getting them out except for killing that person. Or the Vega leaving on their own will.
Yeah. In which case, they essentially are trapped in that broken body, right?
Only if they can't jump to someone else. Anytime, if somebody is killed while a Vega is possessing them, the Vega can, before they get trapped, jump to someone else within range.
Well, anyways, the other thing my nameless character would currently do is offer to teach Riley how to shoot some guns, if she's allowed to have guns.
Yeah, she's that's also a great experience.
I'll be
She
back shortly.
she is, and she's scared of them. But she does take any instruction. I just
Alright.
noticed that we're at 3 o'clock already, actually.
Time flies.
Time does fly. Let me look at my thing here. I may have bitten off more than they can chew. I think if we make the rest of the interactions quick, we can still get to the ship and a little bit of explanation that I need to do about the ship before the session ends. Yep, no problem. So I apologize. Let's try and make next NPC interactions shorter. And Talair, I know you don't know any of these NPCs, except that they have names and faces. But if you tell me what kind of interaction you want Oogie to have had, I'll find an appropriate NPC.
Who's the quartermaster around here, and why does Oogie think that they're doing a bad job?
Well, that would be Scotty. Actually, would head of security be doing quartermaster stuff?
No.
No.
Oh, okay,
No,
okay.
I don't think so.
What kind
think
of would that be, Elena? I don't think it
Lena
would be
is
Elena
more
either.
Lena's more of an executive officer. It'd probably be one of the other crew.
Does it actually have a proper quartermaster? That would be a problem.
Honestly,
would it be the crew or would it be one of the guards?
Honestly, I'd assume the quartermaster would be probably Zoe, actually.
Oh, yeah. No, that's careful what you say there.
Zoe,
Yeah.
let's say that Zoe has delegated Ivan to try and keep him away from Elena, because now that you guys have all the ships kind of floating around Kamiego, setting up operations, that means Ivan and Elena are once again in proximity. So the quartermaster is Ivan, and he's doing a poor job because he seems to be very distracted.
Damn it, Ivan.
Is he distracted in a romantic sense?
He is. He is. Oogie is probably observed. If Oogie is a insightful and observant person, that Ivan has made numerous passes or attempts to at Elena, or attempts to attract her affection, and she has rigidly been deflecting him. Yeah, rebuffing. That's a great word.
It is.
To the point that she gets a little bit angry sometimes.
And he's doing a bad job.
How old is Ivan, by the way?
Ivan, I believe he was in his 20s. Let me pull him up.
Okay, because I think I had Oogie in his early 30s. 31,
Ivan
maybe.
is 25. He's probably 26 now.
Okay. Let's see here. I'm imagining that people grow up fast on Kamiego.
The
Grew up on
people,
Kamiego, though.
yeah, the people that grew up on Kamiego, absolutely. Ivan's foreign. He's from Union.
Okay. I'm just gonna make this short because you said you wanted this short.
Mhm.
Kid, hey, listen up. You got work to do. Now that broad, you might think she's worth impressing, but the thing that'll impress her more than anything is a man who gets his job done.
And we put Ivan over here in the NPCs box. That'll have meaning in a moment.
Can't believe you got us stuck with fucking Ivan for our crew.
I'm on the light of Texas, Dad.
Who wants to go next?
Quick, get Elena.
Oh, God. Wait, we need to do something to get Android for our crew. Wait, it's not here.
Android's not an option either, no. Android is here, but it's not an option to join your crew.
Android probably never leads the Raza.
Yeah.
She does not.
Is Libra an option? Because I feel like doing something to separate Nova and Libra is a good fucking idea.
Libra is an option.
Great.
Why wouldn't Nova be the option there?
Because Libra's a little more sympathetic.
You tell me there. Nah, you tell me.
Let him pick Libra, and then you pick Nova.
Oh God.
Just a quick interjection. Sorry, I should have declared this earlier. Over here, these are medics. These are technicians. These are science.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't imagine we'll need science on this. I think honestly, like my initial thought is like, whatever ship we're going to be on, I'm guessing they're probably putting, given my character probably has the most experience with that sort of thing, they're probably putting me on getting everything ship shape.
Okay.
I don't know who to be a good person to interact with for that, though.
Ship shape would. Elena is actually very experienced.
All right, let's get Elena.
Oh no! I apologize, Tulare. This must sound like an inside joke that's not being explained.
It kind of is.
I mean,
Well,
no,
not
I
really inside.
understand that these NPCs and have history, and that the other people in the chat have knowledge of that history. I'm kind of delighted that somebody says, "I can't believe you got us stuck with fucking Ivan," because that means I'm doing my job to create drama.
Well, if you want drama, we've got it.
Yeah.
Now just get Elena, Libra, and Nova.
Those two are the Raz's resident soap opera.
Oh God.
They were. Nox even had come up with a fantastic name for it.
Oh yeah, Paris Sons.
No, it was there was a different name.
I've forgotten it entirely.
I'm pretty sure I've got it in my session log. So yes, what is this interaction? How is this interaction with Elena going to get things ship shape for the ship that you guys end up joining?
You're trying to run a wait. What class? Well, that's the key problem here. Here, Dex. What sort of ship do we have here?
Okay, that makes sense to explore that a little bit right now. So, I'm gonna take 5 minutes to explain a little bit more about how this is running, and then tell you what the different ship options are.
Mm-hmm.
Over the course of this campaign, you're going to have 3 fluctuating stats. Support, which is general public opinion. Logistics, which is infrastructural support for the entirety of what Raza is trying to do. And assets, which is actual physical assets, funding, marketing campaigns, promotions, everything that could be that could result in some kind of financial or physical gain. The Raza as an organization is going to have these stats as a maximum value. They're going to start at 5, and when you gain, like say you do something that gains +2 support, then the Raza's support is 7, and you gain those 2 points. I'm not explaining this well. So, say the Raza support is 5. You go and do something that I say, all right, well, that's going to cost you 3 of your support. You spend your 3 support, and now you've got 2 left. But the Raza as an organization is still at 5. The Raza as an organization will continue to accumulate whatever you collect in these stats.
It's more like basically like in psionics, you commit something.
Kind of. I think it's more like points than anything that gets restored because, well, I guess that's not entirely true. There is some restoral of the points that you can spend per day. But I think the point that I'm trying to drive at is that you spending support doesn't actually affect the organization as a whole. That's just what support you're able to draw from the organization. So the Raza can end up with 15 support, 25 logistics, and 20 assets, while you're sitting at 4 points of each that you could spend at any one point.
Okay.
And that leads into your ships. You can have a free merchant that loses... Oh shoot, what did I say it loses? It loses something, I can't remember exactly what, and gains life support, bringing it to a max crew of 12. That ship will bring 5 crew with it to make sure that it can fly regardless of what your skills are. That ship is free. You can spend 2 logistics for a patrol boat and bring 5 crew. It also brings 5 crew. Or you can spend 4 logistics and 4 assets for a corvette, and that brings 10 crew with you. It basically means that you will not be able to rely on any outside assistance if you go with a corvette, because you're like that outside assistance would be the corvette if you weren't flying it. So, do you guys have a preference on?
I guess what else can we spend the resources on?
I don't know yet.
Do any of these
Outstanding.
options have a workshop?
Well, I have a question too when you answer that one.
I don't believe any of them have a workshop by default, but we can arrange that.
Okay.
Tulare.
The free merchant, even with life support, is a substantially lower cost ship than the patrol boat. I mean, so does the free merchant come with any other perks?
Yeah, it's also not a military ship, and that is the perk, meaning you're less likely to get challenged. It basically it has all the trappings of just being a merchant ship. Military ships are subject to more scrutiny, or should be subject to more scrutiny. So that's kind of the trade-off there. And I also want to note that the Corvette does not have atmospheric configuration, so it cannot land.
Right.
So I don't know.
Well, I would point out that. Or I'm sorry, you go ahead first.
I was about to say that the fact of the patrol boat being a military ship, and this is where I don't know what the pacing of the game is. I don't know how soon I am likely to get level 2 of one of my foci, but the level 2 benefit of Shrewd Merchant, as long as the local authorities aren't hostile to you and your ship, you don't need to pay for fuel or refresh services, and your ship is never clamped or otherwise restricted, even if you carry an obviously military loadout.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would absolutely affect your. It would definitely pull back, if not completely eliminate any of the downsides that you would take for running a patrol boat.
So that sounds like having the patrol boat, at risk of actually participating in the min-maxing.
We have corrupted him.
my character has an advantage that would make the patrol boat a somewhat more attractive option than it normally would be.
I think the question there is, are you just planning to get Shrewd Merchant next level then? Because you can get it at level 2 if you want.
I'm sorry, say that again. I had a parenting moment. My daughter came down and was clamoring for my attention.
You're perfectly good. So you get foci. You get 1 extra foci at level 2, and then the next is at level 5, 7, and 10.
Okay.
Are you planning to just get it at level 2 then?
If we decide to go with the patrol boat on the basis that my level 2 Shrewd Merchant focus gives us an advantage with the patrol boat, then yes, I will get that as my level 2 focus.
Okay.
Yeah, it shouldn't take too long to hit level 2.
It shouldn't take too long to hit level 2, but I'm also, my view is that I'm a little reluctant to make you go that way if that's not what you were originally planning.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any particularly strong plans. I'm just here for the ride, so
that's fair. Well, the good news is all of these things fly, so you'll be able to ride any of them.
Frankly, Shrewd Merchant is probably the closest thing to my character's concept, as I had planned it anyways. So it very much goes along with my narrative thinking for the character to get that as my second level focus.
Right. Okay. So my only thing, I think I kind of agree. Well, actually, what I wanted to ask Dex is, do we have any chance to modify these ships as we purchase them? Or not as we purchase, well, as we get them. Like, can we get like any modifications to their built-in whatevers?
Not at the campaign start, if that's what you're asking.
All right. So let me look at things. I think my view is.
Sorry, let me just throw in there. These are essentially ships that the Raza has liberated already. They're stock default ships, with the exception of that free merchant to get all the NPCs I want on there. I would probably allow you to modify them later on, if that's something that you want to do.
Okay.
I mean, not probably. I would allow you to modify them later on if that's something you want to do.
So this is essentially the default, like the patrol boat example, right? The example starships.
Yeah, with the only walk back from what I just said being that I did agree to put a workshop on the ship, and that's something that I would want to do for even if you weren't going Tinker Knox.
We do like having workshops.
Yeah, the pain of being a player and unable to mess around with mods, which are kind of an integral part of the mechanics, it's real. I feel it in the campaigns where I don't have a workshop available, so I want you guys to have that workshop.
All right. So the one thing we need to note about the patrol boat is it doesn't have a fuel bunker.
It does not.
Which, given how things are limited in, it could be weird.
You would definitely have to plan your routes a little bit more.
Yeah. Corvette also has the advantage in having like much better hit points and better mass.
Though I just realized something.
What's up?
It's weird that flying in a patrol boat that Shrewd Merchant would be of advantage to us, given that it has no cargo space and we're obviously not there doing merchant things.
I mean, it has. Wait, it has. Does it have 0 or?
It has 0.
It has 0 cargo space.
Well, very select special goods.
It can also be a merchant representative.
Ooh. I'm the advanced negotiator. Our patrol boats will come later. Or our free merchants will come after me.
There you go. Yeah.
When
Well-
we have a contract, then our wares will enter your shores.
The one other thing I'd ask is, we are doing a very warrior heavy party. How confident do you guys feel in boarding someone and stealing their ship?
It does come with boarding tubes.
Yeah, both Corvette and the patrol boat do.
I mean, whose ship would we be boarding and stealing?
Good question. Who do you feel like?
Everyone's. Can we
I mean-
attempt to board and steal the Raza?
No.
Oh, lame.
Android has been given permission to interlink with it again, so it is unstealable.
Oh. Oh.
As is the
Lame.
Marauder.
I guess-
I think I lean towards the patrol boat, if only because while the increased HP and mass on the Corvette and the fuel bunker is nice, I do really like the presence of survey sensors on the patrol boat, and that 4 speed it could be very, very useful. The patrol boat is much faster than either the Free Merchant or the Corvette. So if we need to get away from something, that is huge.
Yeah,
Also,
that
it can land-
was one of my thoughts. Is the speed is important.
You cannot land a Corvette.
Yep, that's
Or
also
rather, you
been
can only land a Corvette once.
that has been noted. Atmospheric configuration is something we can get on it in the long run, but it's not something we can get on in the short term.
Atmospheric
think-
configuration is one of the fittings that specifically calls out that you can't really add it afterwards. Because it's such an overhaul.
Okay.
If I remember
So yeah,
right.
we'd need to steal one from. Well, hold on.
Oh, you're right. Must be put in place when the ship is built.
Yep.
Yeah, so we'd need to steal something from a fucking shipyard if we wanted to get that, or buy it straight from the shipyard, rather. Either way, but yeah, I think going with the patrol boat for now, and planning around that is a good idea.
And if you guys end up taking another ship, I will probably give you the option of continuing on that ship or contributing it to the assets of the Raza.
So I think we're unless there are any objections, I'm happy to vote for the patrol boat. Sure.
I heard Nox
Yes.
trying to
Yep.
get a word in.
Nope.
Okay. I misheard Nox trying to get a word in. Alright, so there's your answer, Lulu. You are dealing with Elena regarding the preparation of a patrol boat. It is a smaller vessel than she's accustomed to. She's used to.
And that's why she keeps turning down Ivan.
she is very busy right now. She's actually quite stressed.
This will basically be this would be a vacation for her.
This vessel does not have as many guns as she's used to because she did work with the Union for a very long time. It has energy weapons, which are just weird. And it's small. It's so small. It's been on the Raza for like a year.
Well, not only that, you're running a T300 engine on this thing. It's wired up all wrong. If you got one of those, you'll need to run it. You'll need to run it through this relay here. Don't do that. This thing will detonate on the first jump.
Is nobody available to fix that right now? Nobody.
Oh, I can try. It might take a bit
How
of
long
time.
you been alive? How long you been awake?
Long enough to know how to fix a damn engine.
Fine. And she calls over Wenzel and gives him a clipboard. Do this, and looks over to you. We go now. Show me.
Right. Okay. All right. You there, Wenzel? You mind fetching the spanner over there?
No, I get on the way. And she is already walking towards the ship. She's taking your character over to the patrol boat.
Oh wait. Oh, that. All right. So I'm sorry. I entirely misunderstood what
Yeah,
was going on here.
poorly portrayed by me. She was given Wenzel the clipboard of work that she was doing, and she's going to come with you to the ship.
All right.
And you're going to prove how easy it is to repair that engine.
Well, I'm not saying it's easy.
You know, they had been having problems with it. Drills of 2 hexes were throwing off some bad readings, and it's supposed to be rated for a drive 2. And so there you go.
Like I said, you're running a T300. You're running a T300 engine on it. That's got a bit too much energy for what is the actual in setting unit for this sort of jump actually? So I assume people in setting wouldn't call it hexes.
I don't really know. You know, we could use G. I remember using that as like the quick symbol for a horizon or the edge of the system. So a 2G jump or drill, a 3G drill.
Because G makes me think
Gravity.
G, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we'll workshop it. Just say hex for now.
Well, like I said, you're running a T300. T300 here. That's too much energy for a ship rated for drive 2, at least under normal circumstances. That's why these relays exist. Now,
Less
well,
explaining, just fix.
As you wish, ma'am. Let me just crack this thing open here. All right.
She does watch. She does not have the in-depth skill that that your character has, but she is still adept at supervision. She proved she has proven a capacity for that, despite her anger issues. And so
yeah, some interesting wiring you got here. Looks like a drunken rat went through it. I think a drunken rat did go through it. I think it's still in there. Wait, no, I got it.
that's not
there
a
we
rat,
go.
it's a marmoset.
I ain't a biologist, am I? Don't worry about it. It's gone now.
Meh.
Half
Lots
fried by
of-
the look of it.
Lots of those on Cliff.
I'll get it to the chef. I'm sure someone will eat it. There we go. All right, flip on the engine. If it doesn't blow us up, you know it works.
She eyes him wearily, but starts up the engine power sequence, and the two of them can sit in the bridge for the next couple of hours, monitoring energy levels as the engines power up.
There's still a bit of a sputter there.
I'm gonna put a pin in that, however.
Okay.
I want to make sure I've got everyone, and we've got one left, Nox. Novak. Bleh.
Give me just a moment, please.
Okay.
All right.
While giving Nox a moment, do you guys want to nominate any? We've got 2 more NPCs that we'll need to join after whoever Nox picks to interact with.
So I did want to bring up. Does anyone actually have the lead skill?
Elena's sufficient at that.
Right.
Oh, you meant as far as characters. My bad.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, player characters.
Yeah, Elaine.
Sorry, you're roboting out really badly.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm in an area with only a very little amount of internet.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Shoot. don't really have anyone in mind.
Do you have any particular interaction in mind? I'll find an NPC for you.
Well, a thing that I'm currently missing is a reason to get into melee weapon combat as opposed to any other kind of combat. You know, like a smart person.
Okay. Well, how about let's see. Nova's good with melee weapons. Sunny was a combat medic, I believe.
Did you end up taking Die Hard?
Yeah. Sunny is a combat medic.
Yeah, I did.
There's also Ephraim Elrada,
I-
who is also from Kanagiris.
I think I will go with Elrada.
Okay.
But actually, yeah, no, that's. I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna drop the an idea that I had before. For common sense reasons, I will talk about it later.
Okay.
But yeah, that works. Actually, let me perform a quick bail. Just get away from people. I've started walking.
Okay. Now.
But yeah, you're good.
Okay, go ahead.
So now.
I was just gonna set the scene. So your character and Elrada they connect in some way, and Elrada learns that your character is interested in the stabby arts.
What?
Still with us?
You still here?
Yep, I am.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not sure if you want me to continue with setting the scene or if you wanted to take it from there.
Honestly, I'm not too sure. Starting this was never my strongest suit, but I will give it the most college of tries.
The old college
Which is
try.
to say I'm going to fail miserably. But
Wait, you can't fail if you don't try. Wait, no, I don't know. That's not a good. Never mind. That's not really a life motto.
you fail every time that you don't try.
Oh, yeah, there you go. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I don't know.
Well, I'll continue pushing the scene a little bit. Perhaps you can kind of couch in how it comes to Elrada's attention. He is a very observant old man. That's one of the ways that he has survived for so long, or that he did survive for so long as a guerrilla fighter on Kanagiris. And one of his specialties is knife fighting. He's perhaps even one of the people that's testing out the people that come for to join this cause to see if they have any combat ability. Your character could perhaps have maybe asked how your character ranked, how she ranked prior to being wiped, and see if she still has those skills.
I'd like to say that before before the wipe, I wouldn't touch a gun, and afterwards, I just wasn't any good at it.
Okay. Yeah. El Rada, similar to Oogie. Actually, was it Oogie? No, it was Meowkin's character, helping Riley to learn a little bit about the gun when other people wouldn't train her because they had to do other things. El Rada will take some time and help Amaya, name pending, to sharpen up or rediscover or grow more broad combat skills. So anything that you are going to take with Amaya, punch, stab, shoot, um, Elrada can help to improve those and tone them.
Um,
And if you're good with that, then I'm fine with that as an NPC interaction. Couldn't hear the first part of that.
I said I'm going to be fine with that for now.
Okay, great. So you don't have to keep those 3 as your in-ship NPCs. It's just encouraged because you've already got connections to them. If you absolutely don't want Elena and Ivan on the same ship, then
You would understand.
I do understand.
I just don't understand. What I don't understand is why our old characters would assign both of them to the same ship. Unless this is just Zoe and Nemesis deciding that their drama needs to continue.
Well, yeah. Weirdly enough, there's like a weird stipulation on our mission that we have to record Elena and Ivan's interactions. Weird.
I would say that there can be sufficient justification in needs of the organization. You're still just starting out. You're still very stretched. You're still very hemmed in by forces, by Megacorps and other forces out there that don't really want to give you a whole lot of latitude. So getting Ivan and Elena on a ship together is probably more a matter of, well, that's what we had available. That's what we could do. And so that's just how it has to be. You two suck it up, stay away from each other, and do your jobs.
Kind of hard to stay away from each other on a patrol boat.
It is going to be more difficult to stay away from each
At least
other.
we went with a patrol boat instead of the free merchant.
Yeah, that's true, I guess.
But it doesn't sound like there's any hard desire to kick either of them. Just why? So,
Maybe the powers that be are hoping that Old Man El Rada and Practical Tromar will be able to knock some sense into these 2 youngins. Teach them to get along for the good of the organization.
It doesn't
Could
sound like us, but maybe.
Also, you guys are right next to Aslid, which is where the headquarters, the home planet of Union is. So having 2 ex-Union on board will certainly help navigate.
3X Union.
Well, 2 ex-Union who have their memories still.
That's fair.
So Ivan, Elena,
Oh.
and Elrada.
So that actually raises an incredibly important question, something I didn't realize out of character. I guess I thought I was under the impression that all of the members of this organization were vacant.
Mm-mm.
Nope.
There are not
Basically,
enough. Oh, go ahead, Miyakin.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say just basically the special agents, but yeah, as Dexter said, we only have so many QEDs.
Yeah, there are not enough QEDs to go around, and the higher ups want some people who still, who have that memory, who have the knowledge of the past, to, kind of, because it's a scary thing putting people who don't remember why they're in charge. At least I think it would be.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fair. I thought that this like whole organization was like, oh, we've discovered that this is the necessary technology to fight this war, and so that's just who we are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, my bad. There's also the purely meta side of it. Of I want you guys to protect these NPCs. I mean, I don't want you to protect them, but they're a risk. You know? Especially with all those warnings about if you're not vacant, if you're not protected some way, and you get possessed, nobody knows how to undo that yet.
So, just I guess some out of character questions and things. And if this stuff hasn't been answered in character, that's fine. I'm just trying to make sure I understand the background here. Do we have the means to detect if somebody is possessed?
Yes, you do. Thanks to Zoe.
And do we have? I mean, I was going to say, what is that technology, and do we have some of it in our possession on this? On our.
I believe actually we do have a survey scanner on the patrol boat decks. Would it be fair to say that Zoe's actually made sure to upgrade it with the?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. That'll probably inform many of your mission decisions too.
Mm-hmm.
So we will be able to know at any time if any of our crew members, at least given our current understanding, if any of our crew members have been compromised.
There's a skill check involved, and it's a little bit more difficult than just purely scanning. Zoe was always able to do it without making a skill check because she designed the system, but you guys will have to roll.
Okay. I was going to
So
say,
it'll never be an absolute.
I'm looking here. Zoe is not one of our available NPCs.
No, she was an old PC.
That doesn't necessarily preclude them from being an NPC, but
Zoe's not getting on a patrol boat.
I mean, also keep in mind they're all level 10 PCs. I don't think Dexter's going to give us level 10 PC equivalents.
I'm not.
Probably not.
You're getting level 2 and 3 equivalents with some of these NPCs, but that's close enough. All right, let's take 5 more minutes and pick 2 more NPCs, and then I've really got to let you guys go. I'm already keeping you over on our first day.
All right, we have a fighter, a technician, a quartermaster. I don't know what Ivan's other qualifications are. We need a pilot.
So, that's something that you also don't know. Everyone in, let me get a ruler here out. A ruler out here. Where the heck is? There we go. Everyone in this row is qualified to perform any basic ship functions. They can't necessarily go in depth. Like, you're not going to get anyone in here who upgrades your drive from 2 to 3, but everyone here can at least perform basic repairs on the drive to keep it running. Everyone in this row is security. They're skilled at basic security stuff, including being perceptive and security stuff. And then these guys were all specialized.
So Ivan and Elena came out of the top row. Elrata came out of the middle row.
Yeah.
So we have 2 competent generalists in ship maintenance. Our party includes a fair number of fighty people, so I don't know if that's a huge.
So what I would suggest right now is what we really need right now is someone who can do medical stuff. I don't know what Josh is good at there. They might be a bioscion, but even so, a backup medical person would not be a bad idea.
That would be Sunny and Mealy, is that correct?
Yeah, and I'd suggest Sunny, if only because they're, competent.
And they don't look like they're super tired.
Yeah, they haven't been sampling the
Miller.
pharmaceuticals as much.
All right.
It's always a risk in this crew.
We'll
We've already got Ifram on board for that, right?
Yeah. We're good there. I don't actually know where you put Sunny.
Oh, I put Sunny over on the right, and I realized
I do not see her.
Huh.
I see Ivan, Elena, and Ephraim. There's no one else there.
I see
Ah.
Sunny.
Is
I see something.
Elrada free of addiction issues?
He is free of addiction issues, but his body is
Oh, there we
still not. It is still the worse for wear from all of his time taking various drugs.
Okay.
All right. Other than them, my
I was gonna say he is a fighter,
Yeah.
and we do have a team 3/4 of fighters.
yeah.
You want to boot him?
No,
If
I wouldn't
anyone's
say.
suitable with him,
No,
but
because presumably these will be people that are the largest thing on the ship too. So you definitely want someone who
Yeah.
can fight on the ship.
Right.
true.
My and this is just my inclination, but I actually kind of wouldn't mind Libra coming along if we're going out more to do things than having her with us, especially if we're going to deal with androids at any point, would be useful. But I am up for whatever other suggestions people have.
So just thinking in terms of fulfillment of roles, we have two ship command sort of people already. That would be a third.
Mhm.
We've got ourselves who are fighty and Elrada to back us up there. I think we need more backup in the specialist science department, though.
I don't think we need any actual scientists.
Yeah. To be clear, the way I'm distinguishing scientists, they're not actually good at like ship roles. They're good at genetic science, neuroscience.
There's no real reason we'd have them on this ship.
So
In
actually,
most
that's.
cases.
I'm going to ask an important clarifying question. How do we know that? What is our broad mission? Like, I know we're going to be able to pick specific missions, but what is our overarching mission as a group?
Your overarching mission as a group is essentially, if you've played Mass Effect 3, it's similar to that. You're gathering support for the organization of the Raza to wage war on this mysterious alien entity. That's going to involve forging diplomatic ties with people who have money. It's going to be involve sabotaging ships that are, of corporations that are trying to disrupt your operations. Um, it's largely going to be your general objectives and missions are largely going to be in the service of advancing the influence of the Raza. Does that answer the question?
Yes. I'm trying to think here of what that's going to mean for specific missions and what different varieties of specialist would add to our capability.
Do
So-
we have any kind of hacker?
Yeah, me. I have the hacker.
Do we have any kind of But anyone can do pilot stuff, right?
Yes.
I'm going to
Ah.
put some of your NPCs have specialties. Elena is actually fairly good at the leadership thing, and Ephraim, being a warrior, can service for gunnery. So if you're trying to fill those other boxes, it looks like only bridge and engineering are really left. And Ivan can fill any one of those three boxes adequately. He's not great at it, but he can adequately fill any one of those three boxes.
Now, are these roles that need to be filled by NPCs, or are these things
No.
where PCs can and should be operating as well?
No, there. If the PCs are better at it than the NPCs, then the PCs absolutely should. Elena would still be the captain, but I would let, if you guys got into a ship combat specifically, I would let the PC who has lead, if any, serve in that role, in that ship combat role.
And maybe the PC can take over the ship in the future.
Absolutely, entirely possible.
Hostile takeover.
The only true requirement is that there be five characters among the crew who are capable and competent of maintaining a ship in general. With your current selection, you've got Elena and Ivan are both fit that need. So you either need to bring another one of the top row to get a third on there, and then two of you need to be ship competent. I think Lulu's character is definitely ship competent, and
I can fill the pilot role very well. I've got specialist in that. I can fulfill the engineering role. I do have fix.
I'm going even more abstract than specific roles. I'm just saying, like, as general operation of the ship.
Oh yeah, I'm fine with that.
My character's
Can we take Armstrong? Does anybody have any strong feelings against Armstrong?
Yes.
Wait, again?
Think about it. Armstrong forced into a position of actually being a leader. It'll be great.
Oh God. I don't like the idea
Armstrong
of having
has seniority over us.
I don't like that idea at all.
So Dexter, it sounds here like
train wreck.
It sounds here like you've created a cast of NPCs that none of your former players like.
No, that's accurate. All of these people are assholes, and I hate them.
No, that's just Lulu though.
My first mistake, Talaire, was giving them personalities.
Not only did he give them personalities, he gave them personalities that constantly got in the way of everything.
Hello, that's called drama. It's his job as the GM.
There was, as an example, they were trying to salvage a ship. Actually, it was a station. They were trying to salvage something, and I called for a few rolls. Two of the rolls didn't quite succeed. One of them did, and so I then created a scene where Elena decided that she wanted some death benefits to go to her family because she was a bad union employee and essentially cut her family off from her own death benefits. And so we played out that scene. I decided that it was a fine resolution, and that salvaged one of those failed rolls. And that is what Lulu means by getting in the way.
No, that was you make it sound like it was easy. I'm talking like multiple hours of dealing with them.
It was only 20 minutes for that scene.
Yeah,
that was that.
No, I think it cascaded into something else though.
It did.
So we couldn't just give Elena special considerations. Yeah, but it's kind of like dealing with a ship crisis, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I was going to say, this sounds exactly like Mass Effect 3.
Alright, guys, I am quickly running out of time. I've got another game in 8 minutes.
Yeah. Alright, let's... Can we just, like, pick 2 people, Dax?
Sure. I believe a patrol boat can have, like, up to 20 people, so if you want to pick more than... the minimum, then I don't see why not.
All right, let's grab. My suggestion is grab Armstrong because while I hate them, you're absolutely right that it would be hilarious.
And they're also good at following orders, and plus they've been trained on the scanners. So.
Yeah, and like if I'm piloting the ship, I cannot handle the scanners too.
I'll put them over there.
Libra, I do think would be interesting. But that's only if you're up for it, and then I think a technician might be good. So maybe...
I think Lily Grace is the ones that got the most personality.
Lily Grace got the most characterization, but it's still not much. I say we bring Quiet. I like their name. Their name fills me with promise. Um,
You just want them to be quiet, don't you?
Little do you realize that quiet is the name, so that they can have it somewhere.
and then Libra come along because that seems like a solid idea, unless
Alright.
anyone objects.
I'm gonna put Libra over there for gunnery because she is much better at that than Elrada.
And I guess Libra will still be locked up on the ship, right? Because of the whole perimeter thing.
Depends on the mission.
I mean, I guess most of the crew is going to be living on the ship, anyways.
Yeah, Libra will have additional restrictions because of perimeter.
Is
That being
Libra like Edie?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, Libra is an android that is owned by Perimeter as an organization. Like, her owner is Perimeter Agency. So anyone in Perimeter that outranks her can give her orders, and she has to follow them.
Okay. Provided she recognizes them as, part of Perimeter.
Yes.
So they're complicated. It's a complicated situation, but she's interesting, and she's less volatile than Nova is, who was the other option I was considering.
Is she still equipped with her hand lasers?
Yes.
Yeah, that has been re-equipped. Otherwise, if it was not, then she would not be here. She would have left.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So she can blow a hole in the ship.
Well, I think at this point, then, we have to bid Dexter thank you for the session 0, getting us set up, and enjoy your evening game.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, guys. This has been my first session 0, so I welcome any criticism and feedback on how it went, whether it was smooth, janky, anything you want to give to me to make future session 0s better.
Okay. I will note, Dex, if you are playing next week, I can be available for that one. It's the ones after it that are going to be iffy.
Oh, that's what we're planning to skip. That's the reason why we had it this week instead of next week.
Yeah.
Okay. Never mind then.
So it's already off the table.
That's okay. I'm only going to be offering short missions for the first mission, so you're only going to miss out on 2, 3, maybe 4.
Okay. That's not too bad. And
it seems that corresponds right with when your schedule frees up, and so you'll basically just pop in at level 2. I'm not going to penalize you for needing to life.
Yeah. The absolute latest it'll be is like the start of June, but I'm not expecting it to take that long.
Okay. No, that sounds like the timing will work out fine. Okay.
Just assume my character is handling the ship in the meantime.
Yeah. We'll say that there are still some knocks and bumps in that drive that Elena has restricted your character from performing any actual, away team missions until that gets fixed up, because we do not need the ship exploding.
Right.
Raza needs it too badly.
Yeah, and if they are the ship pilot, it's good to have them.
And yet they entrusted it to us.
No. They entrusted it to those NPCs you see in the boxes. All right, guys. I'm gonna pop off here. Thank you all very much.
Yep.
Take care.
See you around.
And apologize for anybody that is watching this right now. I would normally like to stay and answer some questions if any were there, but as mentioned, I'm running off to another game. So Darkstar War will return in 2 weeks with Session 1.